With Matt Meisenbacher, I'm John Scooter. Apologies for the late start. We had some technical difficulties we had to iron out, but we are ready and rocking here on the BBN as the Beacons get set to host the Skidmore College Thoroughbreds. Beaks coming in at 10-1 and 8-0 overall. Skidmore at 4-4-1 and 2-2 in the NEHC. Beacons right now looking to continue what has been an absolute blitzkrieg against NEHC opposition. Against the Skidmore College team, the Beacons had faced 3 times last year, going 2-1 against, a win at home, a win on the road, and a loss in February in overtime on a Brandon Borges overtime game winner. Meanwhile, UMass Boston got the victory last night against Hobart. 4-2 the final score, a couple of goals, including the game winner and game tire by Garrison Santa Pass. Meanwhile, Skidmore coming off a 4-3 overtime defeat at the hands of Babson College. Let's take a look real quick at the all-time series graphic as we are going to pause for the national anthem. The Beacons trailing 14-15 and 4 overall. When we come back, we'll be opening face-off between UMass Boston and Skidmore.
We want to do theater that is responsible. We want to do music that is evocative and elevates us. We want to do dance that reflects urban movement and connection. I've been a practicing designer for the last 30 years. My specialty is costumes. This space is fantastic. This is our recital hall, and it's so outstanding that many people compare it to the symphony hall because the quality of sound is like nothing in town. And there is the painting studio, the sculpture studio, the digital studio. The type of students that we're getting, they're more competitive. They're looking for these kind of facilities. They look at other private colleges, but then decide to come here. Boston is filled with regional theaters, so our students can actually apply what they're learning and build a portfolio. And it's so great to see their names on the programs, and people may not know they're from UMass Boston, but eventually as they graduate and they begin to get professional jobs and you see their bios, that's going to be UMass Boston. It's going to be the stamp all over. UMass Boston represents what true liberal arts is about. In my class, you have students who are psychologists, business, chemistry. The final goal is that we have well-rounded global citizens graduating from UMass Boston.
UMass Boston and Skidmore College as the Thoroughbreds invade Beaconville, looking to pick up at least one win on this Boston weekend road slate. Let's take a look at the goalie matchup for this battle today as the Beacons will send a familiar face between the pipes. Bailey McBurney, who's a perfect 8-0 on the campaign with a .933 save percentage and a 1.5 GAA. Brandon Kazel, who faced the Beacons a couple of times a year ago, a much better record this year. 4-4 with a .917 after losing 17 games a year ago, a 2.49 goals against average as the two juniors wearing number 1 duel this evening. Matt, when you look at that, it's obviously been a nice and pleasant surprise to see Bailey McBurney undefeated through 8 starts. Yeah, those numbers are pretty astounding there. You take a look, hasn't lost yet, and he's got those goaltending numbers there, John, are pretty top tier there, a 93-3 and a 1.50. I mean, that's going to get it done. I don't care what team you have, whether it's a top-flight Beacons team or a team that's in the bottom of the division. Anytime a goaltender posting those types of numbers, you're going to give your team a chance to win the hockey game, and you'll see tonight, McBurney back in the pipes. You mentioned Kazel, and I remember this from last year, fully capable goaltender. He's the type of guy, he'll steal a couple for you, and I think they're definitely going to need him here tonight as this Beacons team has really been firing on all cylinders. Take a quick look at the Thoroughbred starters on your screen right now as the Thoroughbred starting lineup. So we don't have it on your screen right now as the Beacons and the Thoroughbreds are ready for opening face-off, so we'll get to that in a bit. But the Beacons have won the opening face-off. As controlling it, Daniel Knockbauer. He's out there with Ethan Nitkin, a freshman from Miami Beach, and Garrison Santa Pass, who had 3 goals against these Thoroughbreds a year ago. Nitkin, though, off to a hot start. 3 points and 2 goals in his first 5 collegiate games for the native of the Sunshine State. On the far side, he is the one fighting for possession. Joining him is Santa Pass. Poking it away is Garrison from Tyler Hall, a sophomore defenseman for the Thoroughbreds. Knockbauer on the end boards, pokes it behind the net of Kazel. Fighting for it, Nitkin gets it to Knockbauer on the end boards. Knockbauer tiptoes away from a stick check there from number 15, Reed Russell, a freshman, now on the near side circle. It is Knockbauer dangling, looking for assistance or at least a lane with which to pass. Instead, he tries to dissect the defense himself and turns it over as this one trickles out to neutral ice for Gallagher to lower the elbow on number 22, Max Hagee, who's sent to the bench now after a first shift. Yeah, not surprised to see Coach Bile starting that second line here tonight. They played really well yesterday, following up with that top line, McGregor center. Into the corner it goes. It's poked out of harm's way. That one shoved out by Matt Muzica. Backhander in front, a chance, a shot by Bros, blocked down in front, never made its way to the crease, and the Thoroughbreds finally are able to break out and clear it out to the red line. Poke checked there, fighting for it, the combination of Gabe Chuckrin, the captain for the Beacons, as well as Brandon Borges, the man who, of course, scored the game-winning goal in February in these two teams' battle last year. Redler from the far side boards, cross-ice pass is never going to get there as Corey Morgan intercepts it. Good pinch there by Chuckrin to close the legs and take the puck away as Redler gets a feed from Bross, 2-on-4, as Redler got it poked away from his stick by Austin Rook. On the end boards, taken away, backhanded out of harm's way by Morgan. Far side boards, Chuckrin keeps it in, siphons it along the end boards and into the near side corner. We're coming on in as Nick Albano. Albano holds it at the near side circle, waiting for a shooting lane, takes it. That one off the side of the net and trickles into the near side corner where Morgan will send it up the near side boards and out before it's pickled back in by Albano, who heads to the bench.
Yeah, good to see Albano back in the lineup. Dealing with a little bit of an injury. He had to take the night last night. He wasn't ready to go. Obviously, good to go today, and good to see him back on this top D pairing.
Johnny Regnart lowers the body into the attacking forward as this is a shot from a point blast off the stick of number 18, Kyle Del Maestro, but that one was wide of the net. Regnart now has control, fighting off Avery Steele, and the Beacons break out over the red line, and then a hit right into the boards in front of the referee as taken down is Tyler Sifferlin on a nice check there by the Thoroughbreds. That check leveled by Jeff Kirkwood, a junior, as from the near side circle in their own zone, the Thoroughbreds trying to clear, they cannot. Beacons take it over, but unable to get a shot away there was Peters, and it's taken away and motored back the other way before losing control was Kirkwood. That's a offsides on the Thoroughbreds with 17:08 to go.
And you know, one of the things here, John, you saw for those that tuned in last night, the speed at which these two teams played, it was at a Division I level for the first two periods. It was fast, and I think the Beacons have had a tendency to play down to their opponent. I'm not sure that this Skidmore team is as fast as what we saw with the Statesmen last night. Be curious to see as this game gets underway here, we're only 3 minutes in, if the Beacons can continue with that speed that they showed last night.
And these are both two teams that played very physical teams a day ago. You mentioned the speed and the physicality of the Hobart game. Babson, one of the more physical teams in the conference as well.
Yeah, and we talk about this almost every broadcast, but that quick turnaround for teams, you know, having to play a top team in Babson or UMass Boston and then play the opposite the following night on a quick turnaround less than 24 hours later is always going to take a task.
Oh, and then pinching in, drawing a penalty, and then tumbling down into the end boards was the freshman Callahan Johnson from Bill Ricca. And that's the first power play of the day for the Skidmore Thoroughbreds. Skidmore went 0 for 2 yesterday on the power play. The Beacons' penalty kill, meanwhile, went a perfect 8 for 8. As we'll take a look at the keys to the game here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. And Matt, one of those keys is going to be maintaining the success of the penalty kill. And we'll take a look at the keys to the game at the next whistle as we're about to get the face off of this power play. Chuckrin uses the end boards to try to get it to Albano, but was able to do so on the first effort, and then Bross has trouble with it. Trickles to the far side boards as Skidmore will look to get an early advantage here on the power play. A high-rising shot off the stick of Reed Russell, misses everything. Russell, D-to-D far side for Borges. Brandon takes the shot, deflected in front off the stick of Musica and wide. That one cleared by the Beacons all the way down. Kazel will clean things up here. 30 seconds elapsed on the power play. And Matt, that penalty kill for the Beacons, almost 95% coming into play. It's been a real reason why the Beaks are undefeated in conference.
Well, they do very well defensively. Their goaltender is a big factor as to why they're able to kill penalties as well as they are. But the thing that goes unnoticed is how well they forecheck. Notice when they dump these pucks in, how aggressive the forwards will be on the puck carrier, forcing them to go towards their second or third option on the breakout, not necessarily their first option.
See if that continues here as we are 60 seconds elapsed on the power play for the Thoroughbreds. It was Garrett Gallagher who was the guilty party on the penalty. He is in the sin bin for another 50 seconds. Good stretch feed into the attacking zone here, connecting with Hagee. Max harassed by Brian Carter. Comes back to Hagee on a one-touch feed from Wolf. Far side, back to the point now for Rook. Rook dumps it back with the backhand towards Morgan. Morgan tried to go right back to Austin. Instead, he has to come near side to Steele. Steele right in front, a great save by McBurney as he denies the man at point-blank range. That was Hagee and gets the cover on the second chance opportunity. And now McBurney getting harassed in the crease as the Thoroughbreds stretch their legs.
Well, not only one, but two great saves from McBurney there. The first off the pass to the slot, he was able to get it with the pad. And, John, I think he got the second one with the glove. It looked like that puck had a chance of going in. We'll take a look at the replay here. Watch this puck come come towards the center. That's a great pad save. He's got the whole net. McBurney makes that one, and then you see that puck leak out there on the far side. I think he gets that second one with the glove. That's two key saves there from McBurney. We saw this yesterday, timely saves. You just saw two there.
That was Morgan who got the second chance, but McBurney makes him feel the burn as there's a shot from the point off the stick of Rook, glove down with a couple of loads in front as McBurney continues to excel. Now let's take a look at the keys to the game, as the Beacons obviously want to continue the strong penalty kill, but also see continued growth of these freshmen that played so well.
And I had a fourth there. Keep the confidence of McBurney high. I mean, he's playing at an elite level right now. They need that to continue.
So far, so good. 13 seconds left on the power play. Nice play to keep that in by Steele. Back to the point for Rook. Now back to Avery Steele. Pitch and catch with Rook. Rook tried to take a shot and seemed like he was not confident on his efforts there. Instead, it's turned over. That'll kill off the rest of the power play and send the Beacons to one unless Albano can score as he misses the top shelf, which was wide open after Kazel bit on the shot fake from the far side. As Albano misses on an opportunity to get his fourth goal of the season. But the Beaks will head to the power play as it's 2 minutes for Max Hagee.
And the speed of Nitkin. I'll tell you what, we saw this yesterday. He's able to draw penalties. He's one of the faster players on this hockey team. You saw there was able to break free, creates the penalty, and then the 2-on-1. There was room up top there. Albano just missed it.
So the Beaks, after killing a penalty, will look to get their power play going here today on the campaign as this one's dumped all the way in. The Beacons on the power play, 12 of 53, good for 22.6%. Meanwhile, the Thoroughbreds penalty kill is 83.8%, 31 of 37. Behind the net, UMass Boston trying to set up the breakout as here is Bross. He knows what to do with it when he has it on the end of his stick. He takes the body there of Del Maestro and gets it into the corner. Rook, big 6'2 defenseman from Shrewsbury, backhands it near side. Beacons taken away. That's Bross getting it to Regnart. D-to-D, far side, Chukrin. Gabe excels on those point shots on the power play. Instead, he goes down low, now back out to the point, but Regnart couldn't handle the pass that came from the far side of Peters. And it's back out to neutral ice as Peters gets it poked away by Rook and then sent up into the rafters, and that will be a stoppage. 1:05 to go in the power play for UMass Boston. Still no score.
Yeah, puck bounced a little bit on Regnart there. It seemed at the blue line. Beacons had the Skidmore Thoroughbreds moving a little bit in the own zone. That puck stays in. I'd be curious to see what would have happened, but nevertheless, we'll get a face-off at center ice.
Next whistle, we'll take a look at the team stats coming into play today as the Beacons and the Thoroughbreds really at two divergent points of their campaign. The Beacons coming in, obviously 10-1, undefeated in the conference, looking to continue that momentum to end the semester. Thoroughbreds, meanwhile, trying to find their identity. A year ago, they really struggled. Single-digit wins, double-digit losses. And this year, they're 4-4-1 with an opportunity to set themselves up for a chance at a conference tournament berth. As taken into the boards there is Albano. Nice play by Reed Russell, a freshman from Napanee, Ontario, as that'll lead to a clear with 30 seconds left on the power play.
Albano shaking up on that play. He's going to glove already off. He's already taken his helmet off. We'll have to monitor that situation.
Yeah, not great news for the Beacons, especially with Albano already missing some time in the latter portions of November. We begin December, and the Beacons looking to continue their success. The Thoroughbreds looking to begin anew. Coming off late from the bench, and it's Bono with a shot, and that one denied by the netminder as just getting a piece of it, Brandon Kazel. Power play will end in 2 seconds. A chance the other way. Good block as getting down low is Gallagher to make the denial on a shot attempt down low by number 16, Jeff Kirkwood. Beacons the other way as Sifferlin drops it back. Nice toe drag, a chance on a backhand by Skinner, and a good save by Kazel. Second chance trickled through the net now. 12.5 to go. Looking for Sifferlin was Skinner. Trickles back to the point off a deflection. Gallagher trying to go back all the way around the boards towards Skinner. Missed the mark. And it comes back for a breakout here for number 19, Paul Vella, and the visiting Thoroughbreds, who fires it into McBurney's glove with 12:15 to go. Let's take a look at the team stats for both of these squads coming in. And Matt, the Beacons offensively, one of the best in the nation.
Yeah, you talk about, you're going to notice the goals for at 4.8, but I think the key now, this team has the ability to score, but the face-offs is really the stat that's not shown there, but that's really been a strong point of late for these Beacons teams. They've been able to gain more offensive possessions, obviously in the offensive zone, and then in the defensive zone they've been able to get out of some trouble as well.
Not that time, as keeping it in was Lichner. Tried to go down low to Kirkwood, the 19th skater for these Thoroughbreds. Good play to just poke it out of harm's way by Dakota Keene. Keene on that fourth line with Jack Riley and Drew Gannon. Beacon, so much depth and so much youth that has come to play this year. You can almost siphon in 4 or 5 lines with this team, as there's an opportunity for Riley the other way as the sophomore tries going top shelf, but misses everything off the glass behind the net. Gannon poked it towards the point. Riley keeps it in, slides it all the way around the end boards, comes near side, no one home for UMass. And that'll allow a dump all the way down, but this is icing as McBurney, pinching against the post, smartly lets it go with 11:29 to go. And
you saw the fourth line there of Keene and Riley on the wing. It's going to be Gannon centering that line tonight. They've a little bit of an adjustment there from Coach Bly. I would love to see that line get going. You know, it's the one line, I think all 4 are rolling right now, but that's the one line that I think still has a little bit more room for improvement. And we'll take a look here. Coach Bly adamant because it was an icing. He wants to catch, and Skidmore was, I think, allowed to change there, John, which is very interesting. And I think that's why we were, I don't know if you could hear it on the broadcast, but you got some chatter from Coach Bly on the bench. Not sure why they were allowed to change on that icing.
Albano back out there, folks. Good news, as he took that shot from the point off the Beacons face-off win. As Matt said, the Beacons continue to excel from the face-off circle. Coming back the other way off a deflection off of Chukrin on the shot attempt from Kirkwood. That one gave McBurney some fits. And the Beacons are able to clear now with 11:10 to go in the first period. With possession, McGregor centering that top line today of Bross and Redler. Around their own end boards go the Thoroughbreds. D-to-D feed. Tyler Hall trying to break it out, but it cannot dump it as it's intercepted. A chance down low, centered in front as McGregor was looking to connect with Redler, but it was blocked down smartly by Tyler Hall. Backhanded on the end there by Tim Allen, the tool man, as the Beacons trying to see this one end up in the back of the net, and unfortunately unable to do so as it's sent behind the net to be intercepted by Hall. And Tyler will dump it out to the red line. One-touch feed from Borges to Muzica, and Muzica pokes it deep.
We got a penalty here, John. It's going to be on the Beacons. Bross with a late hit.
And there's the whistle with 10:24 to go. So 10 minutes in this game, we've seen 3 penalties already, no goals.
Yeah, and, you know, I mentioned a lot. We talk a lot about Nick Bross and you know, his ability to carry a physical. Sorry, Zach Bross, the physical presence he brings to this game. And you know, I think he toes that line, and that's one pretty evident. There is a little bit of a late hit. Now the refs are talking about it. Not quite sure. Might have a scenario where you've got an unsportsmanlike, because it didn't seem like Bross gave him everything he had. It was kind of a light bump. So it's just going to be a 2-minute minor. I think the refs had discussed a little bit about potentially an unsportsmanlike, perhaps for a dive, because it really didn't look like too much, and next thing you know, you've got a penalty called, but Beacons will be on the penalty kill once again.
They killed off the first power play from Skidmore on a couple of solid saves by McBurney. Back to the point and keeping it in, Reed Russell sends it all the way around the corner and to the end boards. Beacons trying to clear, and they do, as it trickles over the stick of Tim Allen. Good clearance by Gallagher. Coming back the other way, but killing off some time as the Thoroughbreds dump it in. Coming around the end boards as Bono takes the hit. As coming in to check him was Borges, and then a shot from the near side by Tim Allen, and a good save again by McBurney, who again is in the zone.
Yeah, and take a note there of how calm he was. You know, that's one of those plays where as a goaltender there's a tendency to get a little jittery. You know, you've got a guy right on top of you, you've got another guy cutting to the net, you kind of get a little antsy, you get a little bit too far on your toes. Not with McBurney right now. Just the confidence just kind of scoops it in the glove. It reminds me a little bit of John Gibson or Brayton Holpe, the way they have that calming presence in the net. McBurney has a little bit of that going on right now.
Off the face-off win, the Thoroughbreds still with 75 seconds to go on the power play. Faking the shot and then losing possession momentarily was Borges. That allows the Beacons to clear as Sifferlin does a good job intercepting it and dumping it down. Both Beacons netminders, McBurney for the men and Katie Flagg for the women, have that trait where they make everything look easy.
Yeah.
And not only does it lead to their confidence, but also confidence of the men or women on the ice around them.
It's a great point, John.
As Sifferlin sends it all the way around. I do a few. From the far side boards, the Thoroughbreds trying to get on the board first. They've had 2 opportunities on the power play. Morgan hesitates, then fires, blocker side, but wide.
Kind of like this Skidmore power play. They've had a couple opportunities. You know, it seems like they're not too far from getting a really high scoring opportunity. They've had a couple already, but you see the shot there from the far side. That really didn't miss by much. This team is starting to get a little bit of confidence here from an offensive perspective.
Well, Hobart yesterday went 0 for 8 on the power play against the Beacons, which is pretty astounding as the Beacons continue to excel a man down. Meanwhile, trying to excel shorthanded on the goal as that one is sent wide of the net on an opportunity as McGregor was trying to siphon it in front to connect with Albano. Meanwhile, trying to come the other way, but dropping it back there was Hagee with no one home. Beacons are able to clear as Keene got it out to the red line, and that's the end of the power play as Bross is back onto the ice. So the Beacons see McBurney making a couple of nice saves again. They got a shorthanded opportunity, and now they'll try to do it even strength, at least for the moment. We've already seen 3 penalties in this first period. From their own zone, connecting there was Del Maestro with Vela before a collision behind the net. As over the blue line and now dumping it deep as he trickles over the red line was Rook. He'll get off the bench, or onto the bench for a line change. Bross loses possession on the hit. Gets a little bit of help from Gannon. Behind the net it comes. Albano will watch as a one-touch feed in front from Moody. Was trying to connect on the near side of the post with Moroshek. Here's Bross onside, centering chance, backhanded wide by Chukrid. And now here come the Thoroughbreds, potentially with numbers the other way, but they go for a line change instead. As coming all the way in is Adam Moody. Backhanded away from him by Bono. Far side to the right of the Beacons bench. Trickles towards the center of the ice, and now here comes Bono all alone as the Beacons get fresh legs. John will join his teammates back in neutral ice as we regroup with 7:10 to go. Good turnover forced by Knockbauer, who tried to backhand it in front for Santa Pass. Back to the point. Bono a shot. They score! Johnny Bono delivers on a blast from the point, and UMass Boston has taken a 1-0 lead for John Bono. If in fact it wasn't deflected, it's his 2nd goal of the year, his 6th career goal. The senior from the Peach State delivers. It's 1-0 UMass Boston.
Yeah, let's take a look at the replay, John, because I do think that puck was redirected as it came through. We'll have to load it up for you, but it just seemed like the way the reaction of the goaltender, it seemed like that puck was redirected. It was coming in with some heat, and it looked like about 50% of that was taken right off of it. We'll take a look here. As this puck comes up towards the top here, let's take a look. Bono's going to get this puck and just wrist it right there, and I would think that's going to be redirected. Now, I don't know, maybe Nitkin. We'll have to see a look on the goal call if he actually touched it or if it went off the defenseman. But regardless, a great shot by Bono to get that puck through to give the Beacons a 1-0 lead. We'll see who gets credit for the goal.
They're going to give it to Knockbauer, in fact.
Interesting.
I didn't even see him near it, but nonetheless, we'll take it. Who cares as the Beacons lead it 1-0. Another chance for UMass Boston. They score from a tough angle on the near side dot. What a blast from Peters and the Beacons, or excuse me, Skinner, and the Beacons lead it 2-0 as Jeff Skinner, the native of Houston, Texas, lassos a goal, and the Lone Star State Star has put the Beacons up 2-0.
Well, 2 for 2, another broken play just like that. We're reviewing the first goal, and now we have a second goal. You'll see the replay right away. Good way to load it up, girls. You'll see here, this puck goes through. It's just a broken play, redirected. Skinner's going to get that back. Goaltender doesn't know where it is. He's looking for it. Next thing you know, Skinner's got it in the back of the net, and that's such a tough play as a goaltender. Your heart drops when you can't find the puck and you know it's in a spot where it shouldn't be. And the Beacons with a quick 2-0 lead there as this puck goes out of play. But both those goals on a little bit of broken plays, and Beacons found a way to bury.
They kill off the 2 power plays. It leads to production the other way, as it looked to me like Kazel, the netminder, thought that Peters, number 23, had it. Instead, it was number 28, Skinner, as a couple of freshmen joining Tyler Sifferlin on that 3rd line. And the Beacons getting on the board again. It's 2-0. From the face-off just outside the Beacons' own zone, they smell blood in the water, and Zach Bross knows what to do with it. Far side as he was trying to connect with Redler, the Beacons' top goal scorer coming into the season, as the Beacons see this one trickle all the way behind Albano, as Nick fighting for it down low with Campbell. A collision of bodies not once but twice, as getting hogtied there was Bross. Beacons dump it all the way in, no icing. But it is an offsides, and now they will blow the whistle. And we'll get a stoppage here. They call icing on that with 6 minutes to go.
Originally it was an offsides, and then that caused Redler to turn back, which created the icing. But you said it, quick, and we've seen this Beacons team, the way they approach these games, they get a little bit of momentum. They get 1, 2, and, next thing you know, they got a 4 or a 5 spot on the board. So don't expect them to turn this into a defensive game whatsoever.
Del Maestro takes a shot, and it just got a piece of McBurney and sailed high and wide as a check there gets the Beacons on their feet. That's the little Nolan Redler delivering the blow on a much bigger 6'2" Austin Rook. Beacons trying to turn that into momentum the other way as it's sticked up into the netting on a blast from the red line by Bross. 5:39 to go, 2-0 UMass Boston. Along with Matt Meisenbacher, I'm John Scudris, and Matt, Beacons showing no signs of slowing down as we trickle towards the holiday season.
This team absolutely has the confidence about them. They really do. You know, and I think a lot. It's amazing what winning can do. You know, a team that is talented, and you know they lose a couple games, all of a sudden, you know, you grip the stick a little tighter. Maybe you aren't as confident as you normally would be. But, boy, this Beacons team, especially in conference play, just really has a swagger about them right now.
See if that continues here on this shift as Gallagher shot, he scores! Garrett Gallagher, what a period for him. A big hit, a penalty, and now a goal as number 6 in white has put in the third goal on the board. It's 3-0 UMass Boston.
Well, it looked like he was teeing up for a par 5. He kind of approached the puck. It looked like he kind of just saw a little step into the tee box there, and let me just wire this one underneath the bar.
He's hyped.
You'll take a look at the replay here, folks. Watch this. He's going to catch this puck with one hand. Watch. Right here is this puck coming right. Yeah, you see that with one hand, and then just kind of wires a wrister. I don't think Kazel saw it. I think he was screened in front, but nevertheless, that's a we'll call that one a 350-yard drive down the pipe underneath the bar, and the Beacons have a 3-0 lead.
And the Beacons looking for more on this shift after the face-off win from the point of shot, and a good save by Kazel. Needed that one on a shot from Carter at the blue line. We'll see how much of a leash they give Brandon Kazel.
Yeah.
Their backup, Kowalski, is a sophomore from Buffalo. He's only played in one game.
Yeah, we're reaching that point. The way that this game's going right now, they need either a big save or a goaltending change because Beacons with a full load of momentum right now.
And the first half of this period, with all the power plays, looked like the Thoroughbreds had a chance to get on the board first and maybe stem the tide of UMass's momentum. But that has been forgotten as the Beacons lead at 3-0 now with 4:35 to go in period number 1. On goals at even strength. From the far side, it's sent down low to Rook from Borges. Beacons in their own zone here as the Thoroughbreds look to counter. Borges gets the feed and then whiffed on the shot attempt. He tried to peel it back, and then whiffing on an attempt to clear was Keene. Chance now for the Thoroughbreds. Great save by McBurney on a one-time chance from Musica on the feed from Borges, and then a hit there, and the Beacons are going to see a penalty, and they're going to go shorthanded again as Johnny Regnart got the elbow up high on Borges and sent Brandon down to the ice where he still remains.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough. That's going to be a rough. We'll take a look at the replay here, but we'll have to see. He's a little bit Skidmore player slow to get up here, but this great save from McBurney. That's a 3-on-1, folks, and just a nice little pass there across. And you see McBurney and just the confidence, you know, to read the play. You're out of position. As soon as that pass is made, whether it's to the right or left, you're going to be out of position. You know that as a goaltender. So you just try to play the percentages. You get as much body as you can to the spot once the pass is made. And you saw McBurney remaining tall. He keeps his back up, keeps his shoulders up. And that's how those goaltenders are able to make those saves when you're kind of behind the play regardless of the scenario. So after that save, it's going to be a penalty. Yeah, it's a rough. Look, I thought it was going to be interference. But it's going to be a call on the Thoroughbreds. It'll be a Beacons power play, yeah.
Insult to injury. Brandon Borges was down for almost a minute.
Yeah.
He got hit in the head, but he's the one who gets called for the penalty. So the Beacons head to their second power play looking for their first power play goal. And on that save by McBurney, that was a three-headed monster there for Borges. Not only did he get denied on the one-time chance, where if he was a right-handed shot instead of a left-handed shot, he probably would have had a goal.
That's one where if it wasn't a game, you start thinking about, all right, today's not. If it's a video game, you probably restart there.
I'd throw my controller against the TV. As here comes Bross over the red line. A little knee-to-knee contact there. No call. 90 seconds to go on the power play to Borges, who just probably had the most miserable shift of his life as the Beacons lead at 3-0 and looking for more. All three of their goals, even strength. This is their second power play. Here's Chukrin. Gabe right through the D. All the way into the corner he comes. Harassed from behind by Russell. Sends it near side. Coming back to the point. Regnart down low towards the near side circle as Bross back checks and skates out of the zone with it as he got harassed from behind by Musica. And Regnart would clean it up with 62 to go on the power play.
Got to move that puck if you're Bross there. You can't pull that up to the top and not make a move there. You know you're going to get hit.
Musica knew he was going to get hit as well as he absorbs it from Regnart, and the Beacons are able to take it away as Bross comes back over the line. He's out there with Redler and Sifferlin as forwards. Albano and that is Nachbauer on the blue line right now as Albano is able to skate around Del Maestro into the corner. Albano turns it over to Del Maestro. Poke towards Rook, who dumps it all the way down. This penalty kill for the Thoroughbreds continues to play well today.
Yeah, and a couple just own mistakes by the Beacons. You know, a couple unforced errors, if you will. where they're just making things a little bit easier. You see there again, you know, playing with it on the blue line. I know they get it deep, but that's just another case where you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball. It makes it very easy. These thoroughbreds should be able to clear this puck, although now they turn it over.
Just dump it in, they say, as the Beacons in the corner see Skinner emerge with it. Skinner near side towards Sifferlin, trickles over his stick. Power play will end in 2 seconds. Knockbauer takes the shot, and a good save made. A rebound loose on the near side, but Skinner couldn't settle it down. Borges out of the sin bin onto the bench as he'll recuperate from the hit that he absorbed during that penalty. And now a 2-on-1 for the Thoroughbreds. Kirkwood has it, looking to fake the far side. Now he goes, what a play! And whiffing on the backhander was Adam Moody as he had a wide open net after undressing Bailey McBurney.
Puck just bounced on him, should have been in the back of the net without a doubt. That's a great play by the Thoroughbreds, just couldn't capitalize on it.
100 seconds to go in the first period. The Thoroughbreds give up those 3 quick goals after they went toe-to-toe through the first 10 minutes of this period with the Beaks. And now they seem to have regained a little bit of confidence based off the penalty kill and turning it into an offensive chance, but snake bitten again as the Beacons will look to drive the dagger deeper. Here's Keene's shot. That one deflected off a skate. Looked like the skate of Reed Russell. Sent wide. Now behind the net with 75 seconds left in the first period. Poke check towards the blue line and out as it gets through Gallagher all the way down. Garrett has Bono with him. Hesitates and now comes back behind the net, protecting the puck from the forecheck of Vela. Gallagher doing a fine job with that. 60 seconds to go as he finds Bono, stretches it forward to Gannon. 4th line out there, Keene, Gannon, and Riley. Gannon knows what to do with it, takes the shot. Good saves getting down there. Was the netminder, but he did leave a juicy rebound, did Kazel.
I like that play from Gannon there. Didn't have much. Fired on net, try to get yourself a rebound. Didn't miss by much.
And that's the thing about Drew Gannon. I remember his freshman year. I can't believe he's a senior already, by the way. But I remember his freshman year. He had a couple of goals that were absolute dandies on some exquisite shots. And he's lost playing time with the entrance of some of these younger players, but he's getting an opportunity.
Couple injuries, yeah. It's tough.
Certainly is when you're playing on a top-ranked team. As Albano shot, a good kick save from Kazel. He needed that. Another try as the puck is loose in the net mouth. A scramble for it in front. Another try and a great save from Kazel on McGregor as the puck is finally covered as number 1 in green, the native of Ithaca, New York, stands tall, trailing 3-zip.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he sees he recognizes the same things we see up here. He gives up another one. That's probably the end of his night and his weekend. So he knows he's got to come up with some big stops. And boy, he had maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 on that occurrence there. The kick save went back out to the top, back down low on the shot, and then was able to make at least 2 or 3 in front there. That was the top line for the Beacons. I thought that puck had a chance of going in. 14 seconds here left in the period, and Coach Blyle obviously knows what's at stake here. He's going to be throwing out he's trying to take a look at the numbers here. Let's see, is it going to be the second line?
Second line,
yeah, it's the second line out there. So Nitkin at center, which threw me a little bit there. Interesting to see him take that draw.
He loses it. 10 seconds to go as the Beacons keep it in momentarily. Nitkin deflect it. Now it's out. Beacons just trying to keep it away, and then colliding there was Chukrid along with number 17, Adam Moody. Just 2 seconds left, and now time runs out. Beacons would have 3-on-2 if they had a few more seconds, but they don't need it as UMass Boston getting the 3 goals very quickly in the middle of that period and running with it. The Thoroughbreds outside of that 3 or 4 minute period really went toe-to-toe with the Beacons in this, and yet they come out after 20 minutes trailing 3-0.
You know, Beacons got some really good bounces. It's funny, you know, if you joined us late in the period, you're probably thinking, oh, wow, you know, UMass Boston, here we go again, more of the same high-scoring, high-octane offense. Really wasn't too much of that. I think a lot of these goals were just kind of broken plays. The Beacons got a bounce that went their way. They were able to capitalize on it. Nevertheless, able to bury them, you know, and you saw there, Thoroughbreds had their opportunities late in the period there on the 2-on-1, which ended up being what should have been an empty net goal as McBurney and the defense were completely out of the play. They aren't able to capitalize, and that goal is so, or that non-goal, I should say, is so huge because now instead of 3-1, you're going to come back out of after the first intermission, you still see a 0 on the board. That's always tough. So a UMass team that continues to thrive on the confidence and the momentum that they had, and a Thoroughbreds team that's kind of going in the locker room, scratching their head, thinking, geez, how are we down 3-0 already?
Yeah, and the Beacons now 10 for 10 on the penalty kill this weekend, puts them at 54-57 on the year. And while you say, yeah, that's awesome, great for them, 10 penalty kills in 4 periods, you don't want to see that no matter how good your PK is. The discipline has to be better.
Yeah, and you know, it's a recurring theme for this UMass team. You know, they play with an edge, and I think that comes from the coaching staff. Coach Blyle, you know, kind of instills that in practice. He wants you to play with that physical way, that physical presence. But sometimes I think this team has a way of kind of going over the line. You saw that there in that period where a couple plays, Bross with the hit behind the play, and a couple penalties where you're looking and you're, geez, okay, we really need to take a minor there. And it's something that's been recurring for this team, not just this year, but over the past few years.
Well, the Beacons have shown that physical edge this weekend, and one of those players that brings a physical edge is Dakota Keene, and he's bringing his knowledge of the sport to the women's game as he talks on our first Beacon Spotlight about his internship with the National Women's Hockey League. That's up next right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
This summer I was able to complete an internship with the NWHL, which is the National Women's Hockey League. I actually worked with the league commissioner and league office. Was able to work on different contract stuff, player signings, and really got to see the insides of how a whole entire league works. This internship was really interesting to me because I'd like to work in the hockey industry once I'm done with school. So once I had the opportunity, I jumped at it right away. It's hard to find internships in the hockey world being a current student athlete. So finding something over the summer where I was able to do what I love and also strengthen my resume was a huge bonus for me. So I got to work hand in hand with Haley Moore. She actually at one point worked here for a little while, so we were able to work face to face. It was a great connection, easy to talk to. She knows everyone in the hockey world, which is really beneficial for me. Moving forward, I still stay in contact with her, help her with small projects. Kind of the way things worked is she would task me with different projects to help grow the league, put my input in where I could as being an athlete, and that's how me and Haley kind of worked. Talked a lot with Haley, and I plan to continue working with them and helping them grow as much as possible. With it being such a small league, they're always looking to grow. So I've really taken a liking to the league and working for them and trying to help the league grow. So I definitely plan to still work for them. Moving forward this upcoming summer, I would really like to make the leap into working for an NHL program. And I really think the NWHL is a strong resume builder, which will help me succeed there. I think the biggest surprise is that you really get to see how hard everyone works. There's a lot of jobs that are completed by the same person. At that level, there isn't someone in every category that completes a task. It's one person that's doing a lot. And I think that helped me as well to really see how hard you have to work to kind of achieve that goal in working in hockey.
Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. John Scudris with Matt Meisenbacher. Beacons leading at 3-0 after one period of play in a game that started out with the Thoroughbreds having a couple of golden opportunities, but Bailey McBurney made the saves he needed to, and the Beacons got the goals once the opportunities arose. Let's take a look at the scoring summary after the first period of play. And as you see on your screen, Ethan Nitkin with his third of the year. He was the one that was ultimately credited for the goal on the blast from the point. That was the first goal. They initially said it was Knockbauer, but we pretty clearly saw it was Nitkin on the shot. I believe John Bono took it from the point. Jeffrey Skinner got the Beacons the second goal on a shot where Kazel, the netminder for the Thoroughbreds, never saw it. He thought that Peters had it. Skinner was the man who delivered it at 13:23, and then Garrett Gallagher on the par 5, 18th hole, delivering from the blue line as he went on the top shelf of the green, if you will, there.
It did. I mean, that's literally, for the golfers out there, it's the same way you enter a tee box. He just kind of lined it up, take one last look at the net, and just kind of fired one. And
I feel like every single Garrett Gallagher goal we have is that type of goal,
It does feel that way.
Where the puck's just sitting on a tee for him at the point, and he just hammers it home like he's Happy Gilmore.
I bet you he's a terrible golfer, too.
Probably.
It would work out that way.
Yeah.
That he's just a brutal.
I bet you he's a fun guy to golf with, though, knowing Garrett Gallagher.
No doubt.
Even if he's terrible.
No doubt.
Just have a couple of beverages and ride that golf cart to the 18th green. So the Beacons leading at 3-0. Let's take a look at the first period intermission statistics as the Beacons and the Thoroughbreds continue through 20 minutes. You see there, the shots on goal, not really disparaging for the Thoroughbreds. The problem is, and even the faceoffs, they're doing a good job there. The problem is they just have not been able to solve Bailey McBurney. And on the other side, Kazel allowed that one tough goal, but he's also allowed a couple of juicy rebounds.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Not too much to add there. McBurney, clearly the difference maker there early in the period, came away with some big saves early on and throughout the period, which kind of kept this Thoroughbreds team a little bit frustrated. And Beacons, I think it could have been more than a 5 or 10 minute clip there where all of a sudden it was 1, 2, 3. And we talked about it on the broadcast where this team has a tendency, once they start feeling themselves a little bit, you start seeing that. They hit the first, they hit the second, they hit the third. They walk out of the first period with a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, and the Beacons have had success against Skidmore in the past. Just last year, they went 2-1 against Skidmore, but in their battle here on Beaconville, they took it to them, and they dominated a 6-goal victory, 7-1 the final score in that one. Let's take a look at highlights of last year's victory over the Thoroughbreds, one the Beacons are looking to mimic here today on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Along with Matt Meisenbacher, I'm John Scudra. Let's take a look around Beaconville here on the first period intermission report. Women's basketball falling to Eastcon 75-70. Men's basketball team getting throttled by Eastcon 54-36 at halftime. Both those ones on the road. Women's hockey is taking on Salve Regina on the road tonight at 7. And today was the 7th annual UMass Boston indoor track meet. Here from Beaconville, Seth Orensky had the call on that one. Let's take a look around the NEHC as the Beacons rivals continuing their weekend doubleheader slate. Hobart, after their tough loss yesterday, taking it to the Babson College Beavers from Babson 3-0. That's an impressive lead after one period, especially having faced UMass Boston yesterday. Norwich, the 13th ranked team in the country, who absolutely throttled Johnson and Wales yesterday. is tied up 0-0 after one against Suffolk, who has yet to win a game in the NEHC. Real tough weekend for Norwich, taking on the two worst teams and the two newest teams in the conference in Suffolk and Johnson and Wales. But after their big win yesterday, they're having some trouble with Suffolk. And we did the game against Suffolk. That's a team that gave the Beacons a little bit of trouble. That's a team that in the future I think is going to have a lot of success.
Yeah, it might not be this year, but I like the way that team played. And Norwich clearly trouble scoring. You know, in a 1-0 game, you win. A ton of shots on goal, but to win only 1-0 at home is a little bit surprising. And then still 0-0 after one seems like a little bit of a scoring issue there for that Norwich Cadet team.
And Norwich came in head and shoulders. Everyone said, oh, they're going to win the NEHC again. And here they are now in fourth in the NEHC behind UMass Boston and Babson. So the Beacons, rivals from Norwich, getting off to a bit of a slow start, just as UMass is off to one of their best in program history. Elsewhere in the NEHC, Castleton leads 1-0 over Johnson and Wales and St. Anselm. Flying high as the Hawks lead Southern Maine 2-0 after one period of play. Without further ado, Matt, let's take a look at highlights from the first period. Plenty of them. Early on, it was Skidmore giving the Beacons some trouble, but the Beacons found the net as the time went on. Yeah,
Kazel with a big save here out of the gate, and we knew the Beacons were going to come out flying. That was a shot that kind of got redirected on the way through. It looked like Kazel got a save there late, and then this is that huge save off the power play right through the center one, and then again, as that puck leaks off the far side, it looked like McBurney really was able to pinch against that post and make that stop. Again, you know, early on, that puck was redirected on the way through, and we talked about a little bit in the intermission report at how key those saves are. This is now the Beacons take that and make the most of it as that puck redirected on the way through. Nitkin was credited on the goal. The shot from Bono from the point that gave the Beacons a 1-0 lead, and then as we were breaking down that goal, we see Skinner's going to get this puck. As this puck comes through, it's going to be redirected. You'll find Skinner just break off through the center there. Goaltender Kazel's looking for it. Skinner has realistically an empty net at the top. Was able to tuck that one to make it 2-0. And then this is the tee shot from Gallagher we see here. He lines it up, catches it with one hand, takes one last look at the net, and fires it top shelf. That gave the Beacons a 3-0 lead. And then, but late in the period, so Beacons with full momentum here. You see the time of the goal, 5:30. This is that key stop here on the crossing pass. He makes a save there. McBurney does. He was, you know, guessing was this is going to go right or left, and then again, this is the one that I think is a crusher here for the Thoroughbreds. A 2-on-1, you're going to see this puck come across. They're going to have an empty net on the end of this. Bono gets faked out there, and then McBurney's going to commit fully on the cell there. That's an empty net. You've got to have that one if you're Skidmore. They don't convert. Beacons with a 3-0 lead after one.
And that's Adam Moody who got the feed from Kirkwood, who missed the net. He's going to be pretty moody after that one as we are approaching the start of the second period.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, of course. Sometimes you just got to take a whack at it like Gallagher did
I like
on that
Beacon
goal.
veal. I like that. I think I might have to go to the North End tonight for some veal parm.
Beacon Veal, you know, that's going to be a new sponsor of the women's hockey team. Beacon
really
Veal,
hungry.
the best meats. Just like, what was the one last year?
Oh, man, I forget. That one was my favorite ad read.
Yeah.
I forget. We'll have to pull that one out.
Somebody will remember. The best meats in town. As the Beacons will look to meet the Thoroughbreds out at center ice here in about a minute to get the second period underway. Let's go to a commercial break. When we come back, we will have that second period as UMass Boston looks to build on a 3-0 lead over Skidmore here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Welcome back to the BBN. We have a new goalie in net as Brandon Kazel's day is done. Came into play 4-4 on the season, and his numbers are going to erode as we look now at the new netminder on your screen. That's Brian Kowalski, a sophomore from Buffalo, New York at 6'1", 165. Former EHLer, played for the Walpole Express in his one game this year. He has a 3.71 GAA and an .852 save percentage. See if the Beacons can greet Kowalski with a rude welcome as they will send out the same line that started in the first period: Nitkin, Knockbauer, and Santapass. So it's going to be interesting to see. Kowalski's only played one game, and it was a tie, and now he's got to come out here and go against one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, cold, without a warm-up.
Meanwhile, Knockbauer looked to greet him with a nice warm-up as he got a piece of that one. Almost fell down in his own crease as the Beacons are going to apply the pressure early. Knockbauer continues to skate strong. Backhander front, he scores! Just like that, Daniel Knockbauer greets Kowalski rudely, and UMass Boston leads it 4-0 as the native of the Evergreen State stands tall. Beacons up 4 in the second period.
Yeah, not what you want if you're Kowalski, man. That's tough. You're coming into a game cold. You're a little bit shaky here. We'll show you the replay. Didn't get a good read on this puck whatsoever. He was still looking for it. The puck had already gone in and out of the net. You'll see Knockbauer, and I love that decision. You know, he knows you've got a new goaltender. Not only that, but I've got 2 forwards in front of the net, and it's just a backhand that he gets a little bit of whistle on. Was able to tuck that. Not sure where it beat Kowalski, but nevertheless in the back of the net to give his team a 4-0 lead. And if you're Kowalski, boy, that is not what you wanted when you came into this game.
Not at all, as he's greeted immediately with a shot that he had trouble with, and then a goal and a second shot. Now here are the Beacons the other way. Albano looking for more. Loses possession, gains it right back, takes the shot wide of the net from a tough angle on the far side post. Kowalski, the left-handed glove. I think that goal went glove side. Might have been deflected in front by Sanapass, as nevertheless the 6'5" forward blocked Kowalski enough to allow Knockbauer's backhanded goal from the point. Just 1:05 into this second period. Beacons already got their 4th goal, as UMass Boston continuing to fight offensively. Bross gets it poked away, trying to backhand it out of the zone as Loazo. And getting tripped up there was Moody. Pops right back up, but Chukrin doing a good job poking it away. And now here's McGregor into the attacking zone. Lost possession, fighting for it. Reed Russell. McGregor from the corner. Russell poke checks at him. McGregor back to the point. Chukrin tees it up. Fires just wide of the net and then colliding with the netminder. Kowalski was Redler. He's going to go to the penalty box for 2 minutes.
Yeah, goalie interference. He was trying to get to that puck on the shot. I know what he was trying to do there. He's trying to get to the puck as that shot from the point with Chukrin. You're trying to make a beeline to the front of the net to get either a screen or a redirect. He was late getting there, and then when the goaltender comes out to challenge on the shot, he goes right into your path, but he has, in the blue paint, he has the right of way. So Redler's going to get called on the goaltender interference there, and a little bit of life for Skidmore.
Absolutely. Skidmore has been denied on 2 power plays already. It's going to be Wolf out there. Hagee on the near side. On the far side, Avery Seal. Rook on the blue line along with Morgan. Morgan has control. Back far side, connecting there with Steele. Avery fires that one, denied by the netminder McBurney, as he got a piece of it with the left arm, and then it's sent wide of the net and unable to keep it in. At the point was Morgan.
It's so tough on a power play you got a little bit of momentum. You're trying to get some shots on goal, and then just an errant pass gives your Beacons team a free out.
Keene sends it behind the net and cleared by Regnart, but kept in smartly. Far side chance. Here's a shot from Steele, and then gloving it out of the air. McBurney, a quick whistle as that one came out of his glove towards Max Hagee, but a break for the Beaks as the referees blew it dead.
Yeah, most certainly, and it did look like he was going to catch that one clean. It jumbled in his glove and then leaked, and Beacons are fortunate that whistle was quick. But Thoroughbreds team, boy, they need a goal. And a minute 22 still on this power play. You've got your second string goaltender in the game right now, and really could really use, if not a goal, at the very minimum, some momentum here.
From the point, Reed Russell, near side, connecting with number 19, Paul Vella. Back to Russell, far side now for Tim Allen. Allen playing pitch and catch with Russell, comes near side for a chance from Vella. Back to Russell. Paul Vella near side circle, 60 seconds already elapsed on the power play to Redler. High-rising shot from the point from Russell. Blocked down in front, good play from Gallagher. Trying to clear it there was Roviak, and then a stick shatters, and that's a chance for the Thoroughbreds, who, in sending it high and wide, was Matt Muzica after the stick of Bono shattered, and that is almost like having a 2-man advantage when one of the defenders loses a stick.
And to fire that thing high and wide, you gave the Beacons a free out there. I'd rather him hold it, even on a 2-on-1, I'd rather him hold it and reset, because like you said, now you've got an extra advantage, a player without a stick, as Bono's twig completely snapped in half.
And then a chance short-handed as racing down was Riley, but he was denied, and a good save and a big save by Kowalski. Chance the other way, deflected off the skate of Chukrin from the shot attempt of Johnson. Far side now, keeping it in, and then getting it back to Rook with Steele. A chance as the puck was blocked down in front, but cleared out of harm's way by Gabe, And the power play will end in 2 seconds as the Beacons are now 3 for 3 on the PK today and 11 for 11 on the weekend. Trying to send that one forward was Morgan. Eventually catching up to it is Lichner. Lichner shoved into the boards by Albano with aggression, and that'll allow the Beacons to take it away as Riley uses the glass to siphon it all the way down. No icing. First man to catch up to it, Morgan. Still a shattered stick in the offensive zone for UMass Boston.
There's twigs everywhere. There's 2 down in UMass end. There's another one down in the Skidmore, 2 in the Skidmore
front,
end.
And a great save by Kowalski with the shoulder on McGregor. As Redler tries to backhand it towards Bras, Sackett vacated the area, but he uses his stick to poke it towards Albano. Albano a shot, whistling through the net mouth and wide. Beacons using all the momentum from that successful PK as Chukrin's shot is denied by Kowalski. As with sticks rife across the ice, the Beacons continuing to apply pressure to Kowalski, who makes another good save and maybe finding a little confidence.
Yeah, I would hope there's a little bit of, that's a weird technique he used there on his pad to kind of cover it with his pad. Maybe didn't get the best read on it, but definitely he needs a couple saves here to kind of batten down the hatches as he would, as we still have referees cleaning up sticks. There were 3, if not 4 pieces of sticks out there on the ice, so a little extra time needed.
Beacons in the offensive zone to the right of Kowalski. 15:25 to go second period. Knockbauer fighting for the face-off along with Wolf. Beacons win it thanks to some help from Nitkin, who has another goal, the freshman's 3rd of the year in 6 games, as this one is backhanded out of the zone. Beacons regain possession. Knockbauer, though, turns it over at their own blue line. It's poked all the way in by Wolf. Absorbing the hit is Ragnart from the check of Campbell. Thoroughbreds just trying to get some offensive momentum as Ragnart takes the body of Wolf into the boards. Wolf getting it far side corner for Campbell, backhanded around the end, but Wolf had vacated that position. That leaves the Beacons easy breakout here, and connecting there. Now Knockbauer tried to saucer it far side, missed the mark, but the Beacons pressuring in the attacking zone. Poke checked away from Knockbauer by Kowalski. Referee just standing right on the puck and not really minding as the Beacons see Nitkin turn it over, leads to a 3-on-2 the other way. Near side, here's Moody. He's got Muzica in front, trying to go to Muzica, but missed the mark on a deflection. Comes all the way back out to the point for Rook. Rook's shot deflected and wide of the net by Santapass, who got his big 6'5", 240 frame in the way. There's a shot from the point from the stick of Russell. That one never made its way through. From the far side, backhanded by Moody to Russell, comes right in front as he was trying to connect with Tim Allen. But Allen unable to settle that one down.
Beacon's got to be careful here. You know, 3 goals isn't insurmountable. There's still plenty of time. I don't like the way they've come in and came into the second period here. There's been a couple penalties, and they haven't really looked the same. The passing hasn't been as crisp. It might be a little bit taking the foot off the gas here. Got to be careful if you're this Beacons team.
Over skating it was Knockbauer. Another shot, that one blocked down. Excuse me, Skinner. Now the Beacons see Gallagher coming all the way around as he vacates his positioning at the point. Tried to tuck it in short side. Puck is loose on a rebound chance from Skinner, denied by Kowalski. Beacons still in the attacking zone. The bench trying to get them motivated. Trickles back for Sifferlin. Deflected. The puck is loose. And unable to tuck it home was Jeff Skinner as Kowalski way out of position on that one.
That's a great shift there from this third line. They remain out there. They've got a lot of pressure right now on the Thoroughbreds.
13-13 to go here in the second period as we approach the halfway point of this hockey game. Beacons leading 4-0, 3-0 after one, getting the 4th goal on a backhander from Knockbauer on the very first shift of this second period, as Kowalski has replaced Kazel as the netminder here for the Thoroughbreds. From their own zone, that one blocked down, not sure if it hit the ref or Skinner. Backhanded around the net by Steele, near side for Rook, cross feed right back into neutral ice is motoring forward Callahan Johnson. Steele fighting for it. Using that stick to poke it away from Albano, but here are the Beacons with a chance. Sifferlin trying to get out in front of the defense, takes a shot, and getting a piece of a puck that was probably headed wide anyway was Kowalski.
Yeah, nice read there on Sifferlin on a little bit of a break.
Gannon with a shot blocked down in front off the body of Morgan, as Drew Gannon showing his strength with the slap shot as he is denied by the defender. And here come the Thoroughbreds, a break the other way for Lichner. Trying to get the backhand, great play Albano as he was able to shut off the angle, and then a feed in front was off the mark. Another try for the Thoroughbreds who have gained some momentum in front, and again, Lichner unable to get his stick on it, and that's been the tale of the day for the Thoroughbreds when they've had chances. Meanwhile, Riley all the way around the D, tries the wraparound, and it's poked away by Kowalski, who stuck his stick to the side of the net with which to do so.
Great speed from Riley there on the break.
Another nifty play from Jack as he tumbles down and still got a shot away. And the Thoroughbreds now with more numbers the other way. Coming up over is Wolf. Tried to backhand it towards Kirkwood. Behind the net it comes. Wolf with possession. Tried to go to the point before he's tumbled down by a Beacon defender. That being actually Drew Gannon who laid the lumber. And now it's dumped all the way in by the Thoroughbreds. And they will catch up to it. A shot blocked down by Regnart. Back to the point it comes. Kept in the zone. Quick snap shot there from Russell's blocked down. Beacon's doing a fine job again blocking shots. And that has been the case all day today, Matt.
Yeah, a great block by Keene as that puck bounces in. Great block by Keene. He's still on the ice, but that one had a chance, a really good scoring opportunity for the Thoroughbreds as they come back in the zone.
Allen goes far side. Nice move. Connection. Near side chance. What a save. It's coming out of the crease. McBurney, and then they score on the rebound as Max Hagee was denied once by Bailey McBurney, but he came way out of the crease with which to do so, and Hagee backhands the rebound in. For number 22 in green, the Anchorage native, it's his third goal of the season. It's 4-1.
Great save by McBurney on the initial rush. He came way out to make that save. He had to take everything away on the angle, and what happened was puck continued to bounce around. It went over the top, and nothing he could do. He was out of position at that point. Defense couldn't bail him out. I warn you, this is not the type of game you want to get into. When you're up 4-0, now 4-1, you don't want to start playing run and gun. You've got the lead. You want to play a more systematic approach. I would love to see the Beacons reset a little bit here.
Dumped all the way in. Gallagher uses the shoulder to fist the man off the puck, that being Moody. Far side, coming all the way around Morgan, using his speed as he fires that one near side, looking to connect with Rook. Behind the net it comes. Now back to the near side boards was Muzica. Backhanded down low, looking to connect with Allen. And the Beacons eventually take over and break out. Connecting with Redler, who couldn't glove it to his own stick. Allen peels back, Redler in his face. Sends it back to Rook, who whiffs on the clearance pass. Redler and the Beacons top line forechecking. As from neutral ice, nice pass there, connecting with Muzica by Moody. Muzica's shot, not much on it. It was partially deflected by Bono. Now John has possession. And yeah, you're right, Matt. It seems like the momentum clearly wrestled back here by the Thoroughbreds. As a chance for the Beacons to take it right back. McGregor forces the turnover, tried to center it for Redler, couldn't. Comes back to the point, Bono, backhanded off the near side boards for McGregor. David, back to the point, Chakrin a shot. Kicked away there by the netminder, Kowalski. McGregor feeds Bross. Bross back to the point. Albano, D to D. Chakrin waits off the boards, now gets the feed and fires it in on net. Another save by Kowalski, who's been much better after the initial goal he gave up since coming in at the start of the period.
Certainly, and they need him to shut the door. They can't afford to give up another one. They've got to keep it at 4 goals.
Albano harassed from behind by Vela. Steele was there as well, but the Beacons gained possession. And now here's Bross. Had a chance for a shot. Takes it now from the far side. Dot. Denied by Kowalski, and then Redler went tumbling into the net. And that will send it off its moorings. 9:14 to go.
Yeah, this period's gone by already halfway over. It's gone by relatively quick. But, I think the one thing that I would love to see the Beacons get back to, the one thing they were doing really well in that first period was using their speed, breaking out of the zone. We've seen it at clips here, but using that speed, getting into the zone with a little bit of ease. I know the Thoroughbreds have made some adjustments to their systems here, but that's one thing. The Thoroughbreds have done a much better job possessing the puck. I think the Beacons, I'd love to see them get back to that a little bit, possess it. There's no need to run with this Thoroughbreds team. You've got a 3-goal lead right now. Just work on getting that puck into the offensive zone and then possessing once you're inside.
The roll at Redler was pushed into the net, so the Beacons will get the offensive zone face-off. Knockbauer against Lichner, and Lichner wins it. Kept in by Carter as he kicked it to the stick of Knockbauer, and now coming back the other way is Lichner and the Thoroughbreds. Lichner tries to go far side. It was deflected, and what a save by McBurney. Off a deflection off the Beacons defender, Regnart. McBurney got over to deny an opportunity from Lichner.
That's another one that should be in the back of the net. McBurney has no business making that save right there. That's incredible to be able to get that leg back in time. You'll see it if we can load it on the replay here. Watch this. He's going to make the first save. You'll see the initial stop. and then watch this puck just leak out in front a little bit. He's going to get that leg right there. He's able to make that stop and cover up. He has no business making that save, yet he bails out his team once again.
Great kick save by Bailey, who then was able to cover despite a couple of thoroughbreds near him. 8:50 to go, second period. 4-1 Beacons. Beacons scored the first four of the game. No icing here, as the Beacons trying to get the momentum back after the goal by the thoroughbreds, Max Hagee. From neutral ice, Sanapass using his big frame to shield off the defender Lichner. And here comes UMass 2-on-2. Nachbauer tried to center it in front, looking for Nitkin. It was deflected, I think, off a stick of a defender, as this one is sent up in the air in the corner. Sanapass fighting for it, as he will duel with a couple of thoroughbreds, including Reed Russell. Russell joined down low by Johnson. Beacons have it. Nitkin all the way around the end boards. Sanapass. Far side Nitkin, he scores! UMass Boston's Ethan Nitkin on a beautiful feed from Sanapass, and Kowalski never saw it coming. It's 5-1 UMass Boston.
Well, the strength of Sanapass, and we saw this last night, you know, the strength of this kid behind the net, he just buys himself so much time, and it's not necessarily with the stick or the skates, it's just how big he is. It's tough to get the puck from him. And you're going to see behind the net here, he's got a guy draped all over him. It looks like the thoroughbreds, especially Kowalski, thought it was going to be coming out the one side. Instead, it comes out the back end. Watch this now. He grabs the puck behind the net, and he's going to have a guy all over him. Now, he gets checked there. You would think that's the end of the play. Instead, finds Nitkin off the backside. Kowalski thinks it's going out the other. That's an easy goal for Nitkin. You score that every night. And Beacons get back to a 4-goal lead, up 5-1 here in the second period.
And checked into the penalty box and opening the door just from the momentum of his body was Sifferlin. I think laying the lumber there was Campbell for the thoroughbreds. We got a stoppage because of that. It's 5-1 UMass Boston. Ethan Nitkin now has 4 goals in 6 games. And this one's just half over.
It's one way to keep yourself in the lineup. Just keep scoring.
Absolutely. Even if, heck, I think I could have probably scored on that feed from Sanapass, though the first deflection I certainly couldn't have. Nitkin continuing to excel here early on. That was just a beautiful play by Sanapass to find his line mate. From the corner, Gallagher sees Bono backhanded around near side, caught up to by Peters. Behind the net, Garrett, assistant captain for the Beaks, able to evade Tim Allen, dump it all the way in with 7:20 to go. Beacons leading 5-1 over Skidmore College, looking to improve to 11-1 on the campaign. Trying to streak through the defense and unable to keep possession was Musica. Swatted into the boards where the Beacons will poke it out towards the point. And dumped all the way in by Sifferlin with 7 minutes to go. Behind the net, the thoroughbreds trying to regain the momentum they lost with that 5th Beacons goal as Skinner peels back, harassed by Allen. Smartly gives it up to Chukrin. Beacons back over. Chukrin loves to skate without the puck, and does so exceptionally well, as an exceptional hit from Loazo sends Gannon to his Tukis, but the Beacons kept possession momentarily before losing it to the red line, where it's dumped all the way back in by Albano. It went up into the catwalks, and so is 6:27 to go, a face-off at neutral ice.
Much preferred way to play if you're the coaching staff of the Beacons. You see the possession a little bit higher, and this is what we were looking for, John. Possession continues to maintain, and they've spent a lot of time in the offensive zone, where obviously thoroughbreds, tough to score from your own zone. I think the Beacons would rather play on the offensive side of the puck versus the defensive side, and you're seeing that here late in the second period.
Beacons in their own zone now. It's sent all the way in by Misha Morocek. And now the Beacons will break out the other way as it's sent in by Keene. The 4th line out there is Gannon, Keene, and Robiak are out there for the Beacons. Robiak watches as Carter gets it to Chukrin, right back to Bryan. Chance in front on a loose puck for Gannon. It was blocked down. And then from his knees, able to clear it all the way down. That one clipped the penalty box. Good clearance by Russell, but it went too far, and so the Beacons will get the icing call with 5:54 to go.
Coach Plow going with his top line here with 5:54 to play in the second period. Already a 4-goal lead. Boy, if you can get this to 5 or more, really setting yourself up for relatively, I don't want to say easy, but kind of cruise control, let's say, right? You kind of keep the systems, roll the lines, and walk out of here with 2 points.
Yeah, potentially anticlimactic third period, but we'll see. I've seen plenty since being here on Beaconville to suggest otherwise.
You never know.
Earlier this year, Beacons had an opportunity to lock one down as that one is deflected. Good save by Kowalski on the shot from McGregor. You said it's tough to score from your own zone. It made me think of the game. I don't know if it was against New England College or I forget exactly who it was against when the Beacons scored twice, I think, from neutral ice on shots that went all the way down. Or Beacon scored one and the opposition scored one on McBurney.
The EHL, we saw that earlier this year.
That's what it was, yep.
And I'll tell you what, John, you weren't here last night. We had another scenario like that. It didn't go directly in, but it created a rebound that ended up being in the back of the net. It's something about the Barrie ice rink that is difficult for goaltenders on those pop flies.
Haunted, perhaps, as the Beacons are looking to haunt the Thoroughbreds going forward. Of course, Skidmore came in at 4-4-1 and 500 in the conference, but their conference victories coming against Southern Maine and New England College. Now NEC is right now third in the conference. They've had a strong start. A good save by Kowalski on McGregor. But Skidmore has yet to play the toughest competition in the New England Hockey Conference. Now a penalty coming up, and it's going to be, I believe, on UMass Boston, as McGregor might have been the guilty one.
Yeah, McGregor, I think, on a trip, most likely here. And, you know, that makes things a little bit interesting here. 5 to play in the second, just over 5 to play. If Thoroughbreds can find a way to bury something here, still a little bit of life in this team. Boy, you got to get it to at least 3 or less if you're the Thoroughbreds. I don't see them with 4 or more. I just don't see that being in the cards. So you've got to find a way to get one here, at least one here, in the remaining 5 minutes of the second period.
Skidmore actually had a first-place vote in the NEHC preseason poll, the only team not named Hobart or Norwich to have one, despite losing almost 20 games a year ago. Had to be a homer pick, you'd think.
Yeah, curious to understand. I would love to know the thought process there.
That shot from the point from Rook deflected high and wide. Beacons trying to kill off the power play. Maybe get a shorty here as Riley coming the other way, splits the defense. Good play from behind coming over. Avery Steele, the freshman from Colchester, Vermont, picks the pocket of Riley.
Yeah, love to see that hard back check, disrupt the play. But let it be known, you're still on this power play here. You don't want to be back checking that hard. If you're back checking that hard on a power play, yeah, you got something else. You got other problems to worry about.
Skidmore will have a bit of a reprieve after playing Babson and UMass this week and potentially going winless in those battles. They'll play Johnson and Wales and Suffolk next week, both on the road, but both teams who have yet to win a conference game coming into play today.
Oh, ref 8-1 there. Oof.
Not, you know, that's one of the things. People get on referees, especially at the pro level in hockey. I wouldn't want to do it. That's a tough game. You see referees getting teeth knocked out, getting clipped by players all the time.
And you see Little there.
As here's a long stretch feed for Muzica. Shot, a great save made by the glove of Billy McBurney, who denies Muzica on the rebound as well.
So frustrating as a forward. You do everything in your possible ability to try and score a goal here, and then you just got a goaltender down the other end who's making it look easy right now.
Puck came out of the zone for Allen to clean up as he connects with Russell. Campbell and Muzica on this line on the forwards for Skidmore on the power play along with Allen. Kept in for Allen. Backhand near side, taken in by number 19, Paul Vella. Back to the point, Russell for Allen, a shot. That one sent high and wide. 5 seconds left on the power play. That'll do it as this one comes all the way down to be cleaned up by Kowalski. 3 minutes left in the second period as the Beacons have killed off another Skidmore power play as the PK has to have more confidence than anyone here in Beacon Blue.
But again, the breakaway save by McBurney, you know, 2. It was on the rebound as well. You know, that there you go. That's the difference between your penalty kill giving one up and your penalty kill remaining. Is a big hit there from Chukrin.
Tim Allen getting ripped by Chukrin as the forward for these visiting Skidmore Thoroughbreds heads to the bench and then watches as Sifferlin absolutely throttles his teammate Sam Loazo on the near side. We'll get a whistle and a stoppage with 2:25 to go as the Beacons, despite the 4-goal lead, Matt, keeping that physicality high and rising.
Yeah, and again, you know, it's something that Coach Bile preaches all week in practice. He wants to see that physical. You're not going to make this team, and you're definitely not going to see playing time if you don't have a physical way about you. And you're seeing that. Even guys, you know, we saw Redler, you know, a guy who's top of the team in points and a guy who has a chance of being 100-point, being on a banner, you know, still laying the body in front of the net. You know, the guy's 5'8". So you've got to have that physical way about you if you're going to be a Beacon. And you saw there's another save by McBurney. You saw there Sifferlin with a big hit that created a building shook a little bit.
Chance now here, even strength. Good save, McBurney. Lost sight of it, but he got it covered and the whistle on a backhand feed from Lishner from the far side post as the Thoroughbreds continue to apply pressure. And yeah, like you said, and it seems to me at least, being here now 6 years, that it's always the smaller guys who bring that physical nature. You got a guy like Santapass, obviously lays some lumber, but he's more of an offensive force than a defensive one. And then you have guys in the past, Albie Daly, not the biggest guy. You have a guy like Connor McStravick, one of the smallest guys on the ice, as that one hits the post on a face-off, winning a blast from Lichner. But those players who are smaller have huge hearts. And that's what Peter Belisle looks for.
Yeah, without question. Another great point, John. You know, those little guys find ways into the lineup by having that physical way about you. I mean, that's not going to carry you every night. You can't just be a guy that's just going to go out there and lay the body every night. You got to have a little bit more than that, but it's definitely an added bonus.
From the far side, after another save by McBurney, who's played a very good game today. Continuing to excel and looking to move to 9-0 on the campaign. And maybe Seth Orensky on the next broadcast can have a trivia question. What's the best start for any goalie in Beacon's history? Because McBurney is certainly approaching that level.
Did you hear I got it right last night, by the way?
I didn't. You got it right,
I got one last night, yeah. I was pretty proud of that.
What was the question?
Santapass's dad. He played for the Nordiques and the Blackhawks. I had a little bit of a help. I had some people that helped me and gave me some hints, but I'll still take credit.
Adam Moody over the blue line, fought off by Albano. Chance for the Thoroughbreds, back to the point for Del Maestro, near side for Russell, back to Del Maestro. His shot in front, deflected right in front of the net by Moody, wide. Less than a minute to go here in the second. As fighting for it, a couple of Beacons and 3 Thoroughbreds, and eventually emerging with it is Muzica, goes far side. And fighting for it for the Beacons, Nitkin trickles towards the stick of Albano. 35 to go in the second period, 5-1 UMass. Albano skating it up as the Thoroughbreds go for a line change, connecting with Knockbar. Beacons were getting some fresh legs as well as Brawson, the top liner, on there. McGregor had some trouble getting off the bench. He's back to his skates with 20 seconds to go. Good forecheck as he takes it right away. Chance for Brawson front, tried to backhand it, but Redler was way too much on the crease in order to get that feed. Now coming back the other way with it is Hagee. Hagee's chance deflected off the stick of McBurney, and then he absorbs the hit from Keene. As with 4 seconds left, it comes out to neutral ice, and that'll do it for the second period of play. We came into the second with the Beacons leading 3-0. They've done enough to keep the lead and, in fact, inflate it to 4 goals. They made it 4-0, and after a Hagee goal, cut it to 3. The Beacons back on top by 4, 5-1. And, Matt, when you look back at the second period, early on, we were a little concerned after the Beacons scored that 4th goal on the first shot against Kowalski that maybe they were taking the pedal off the metal a little bit, but in the second half of that period, they got back to Beacons hockey.
Yeah, it started to slip away from them a little bit there. You saw early on, I would say the first 5 to 10 minutes of that period, it really seemed like, boy, they were going to allow the Skidmore team. And we've seen that in teams past where they kind of forget what got them there in the first place. You saw the Skidmore team kind of creeping back into this hockey game. And then something happened, whether it was the coaching staff or the leadership on that team kind of reminded guys, hey, we still got a hockey game to play. And you saw there in the second half, it was the Beacons that we're used to seeing there. I mean, they were systematic in their approach, spent a lot of time in the offensive zone, a lot of shots on goal. They really tested Kowalski, not only immediately when he came in, but late in the period there, he had to come away with a few saves on the blocker side. So I think it's a Beacons team that really set themselves up here at nicely, up 5-1 here after 2, to walk out of here with 2 points and make it a 4-point weekend in total.
UMass Boston leading 5-1, looking to get another victory on their belts. Speaking of belts, those are snazzy pants, Matt.
You like these?
We got to get those on camera
at
at
some
some
point.
point
We'll
here.
have to show the fans.
That is some flashy stuff, although it is green, which
some spearmint. Yeah, they're more of a forest.
Seth Orensky's giving me stuff about wearing opposition color ties. So
yeah, no. We got some for the folks that can't see. We'll get it on camera. We got the spearmint Dockers with the. I don't know what you call this, a floral pattern on the
floral.
We'll show
it's sharp. It's sharp. It's definitely a former hockey player's attire. I'll tell you that right now. Meanwhile, the Beacons obviously have players from all around the country, and Johnny Regnart's a player who grew up playing hockey in Alaska, and no time better to talk to him about playing in Alaska, coming out east, of course, with the earthquakes that happened up in Alaska this week. A lot of folks affected by those. We got a chance to catch up with Johnny Regnart on our Beacon Spotlight, who talked about playing hockey in Alaska and building a family out east thanks to those closest to him. That's up next here on the Intermission Report on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Definitely very unique. Just from a school aspect to the hockey aspect, I would say everything was pretty different. Hockey aspect, it was definitely fun because we would travel a ton to go out, either out west, Midwest, East Coast, everywhere from California to Minnesota to coming out to Boston before I even knew I was ever going to come out here for school. Just being able to skate outside 6 months out of the year is definitely unique. I mean, everywhere from we'll go to practice during our normal practice times, and then a lot of my buddies growing up will all go skate outside for 2-3 hours at a time sometimes. So I would say that's very unique because the weather will always let you do that for the most part. So yeah. That's what's just so special about hockey. I feel like every guy on that team is part of my family, whether I'm going to Tyler Sifron's house for Thanksgiving or anyone else's house just to get away from the city. A lot of families take you in. It's just something you get used to, and that's just a great part about hockey. Definitely the first year when I left for prep school in New York, it was definitely a very, very hard year. I was definitely homesick. And I would say I kind of just got used to it for a sense, just coming home at various different breaks and then going home for summers, I guess, was the biggest stint I've been home for 7-8 years now. It was definitely hard to adjust, but it's just something you kind of get used to.
Beacons leading it 5-1 after 2 periods of play. Along with Matt Meisenbacher, I'm John Skudras. UMass Boston leading it 3-zip after 1 period. In the second period, they got a couple of goals. We take a look at the scoring summary. The goals credited to Daniel Nachbauer, who did get credit for that goal on the first minute of the second period, as you see there on your screen, his 4th of the season. Max Hagee then got his 3rd at 8:59 to get Skidmore back within 3, but Ethan Nitkin continuing to excel as he got his 4th goal of the season, his 2nd of the day. Garrison Sanapass with 2 assists as well for UMass Boston, and Daniel Nachbauer with a goal and assist. That line, my goodness, it's almost like the women's line that is centered by Katie Leffler that has just taken the reins and run with it. And this year, it has been that Sanapass line along with Nachbauer and now Nitkin that are all of a sudden running the show for UMass Boston's offense.
Yeah, I was talking to the coaching staff last night a little bit about, wow, what a force that second line has been. And obviously, I think the thing that really carries that line is the fact that Nachbauer and Nitkin really come in with speed. They're the 2 fastest guys on the team, I think, on straightaway dead center. Also very agile. And when you combine Sanapass, a guy who knows how to find areas in the ice and his radius to catch passes and to get shots off, you're seeing a lot of that success. You know, you saw it there in the goal. Sanapass, that's a broken play. That's a nothing play. You know, most players are going to take that hit, try to find some sort of outlet on the pass there. Instead, Sanapass absorbs the hit, turns around, is able to find Nitkin backdoor in the open space for the 2nd goal. And, you know, those are the types of plays that are really make you kind of take a step back. You look at the top line, Redler, Bross, and McGregor, you think they're going to be the ones that carry this team. So far, it's been the second line that's really carried the weight, not just this weekend, but of recent history.
And that scoring depth, the reason why the Beacons are on the verge of potentially improving to 11-1. Let's take a look at the second period statistics as the Beaks obviously getting a little more success in that second period. They outshot the Skidmore College Thoroughbreds 14-11 to make it 25-20 overall. Faceoffs, however, have reared their ugly head on UMass Boston. They are just 11 of 35 on the faceoffs, and yet they're dominating the pace of play, and so that's something you wouldn't really expect. No. And yet the Beacons, after the faceoff, exerting their physical influence and are taking the puck away and setting up rushes for the Beaks. And
especially kind of shocking because last night they really seemed to have the faceoffs. It was one of their strong points of the game. I think it's one of the reasons they actually won the game, so I'm surprised with a 5-1 lead to see that the faceoffs are that heavily lopsided.
Nitkin, Redler, Bross, and Sifferlin are a combined 0 for 9. Add in Peters, it's 0 for 13, so that's really the difference there. That's exactly the difference, a 13 face-off advantage. Tim Allen, meanwhile, 5 face-off victories on 5 attempts. So the toolman knows what to do when he gets in the face-off circle. Let's take a look around Beaconville as UMass Boston and their various athletics continue their weekend scores. As you take a look there, both basketball teams lost against EastCon as the Warriors won in women's basketball 75-70 and in men's 82-59. The women's hockey team is at Salve Regina tonight at 7, and today the 7th annual UMass Boston Indoor Track Meet is taking place. We're going to go to a break. We're going to take a look at the women's hockey highlights from their Codfish Bowl victory against Bowdoin 2-0 in the consolation affair that got them 3rd place in that Codfish Bowl right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
If you want it, take it. I should have said it before. Try to hide it, fake it. I can't pretend anymore. I only wanna die alive, never bow the hands of a broken heart. Don't wanna hear you lie tonight, now that I've become who I really am. This is the part when I say I don't wanna. I'm stronger than I've been before. This is the part when I break free, 'cause I can't resist it no more. This is the part when I say I don't wanna. I'm stronger than I've been before. This is the part when I break free, 'cause I can't resist it no more. You know better, deeper. I was the next one, like a deadly fever, babe, on the highway to hell. I only wanna die alive, never bow the hands of a broken heart. Don't wanna hear you lie tonight, now that I've become who I really am. This is the part when I say I don't wanna. I'm stronger than I've been before. This is the part when I break free, 'cause I can't resist it no more. This is the part when I say I don't wanna. I'm stronger than I've been before. This is the part when I break free, 'cause I can't resist it no more. Thought on your body, I came alive. It was lethal, it was fatal. In my dreams, it felt so right.
The women's hockey team, unfortunately, was not able to get into the Codfish Bowl Championship for the first time since 1999, but Coach Don Losey did win the battle against her alma mater in Bowdoin. So for the first time, the Beacons not able to get into the conference or to the championship game of the Codfish, but they were able to come away with third place. Let's take a look around the NEHC and an update around the NEHC scoreboard. You see there, Hobart leading now 3-1 as Babson is on the board. Still 0-0 between
Very
Suffolk and Norwich after 2 periods. Suffolk, of course, coming in last place in the conference, winless. But they showed against the Beacons that they can put together a fight. And right now against the Norwich team that struggled of late, they're doing just that.
Yeah, very surprising here. I got to look over at Seth. 0-0. That was their game last night, John. He took the he took the Norwich. Norwich was playing Johnson and Wales. He took that game as the premier game to keep a look on. I took Babson, the team we're seeing tonight, Skidmore. Both games close, but I gave the edge to him. And look, sure enough, Norwich in another battle tonight, still 0-0.
Maybe a day of upsets. Norwich almost the Alabama, the NEHC. Right now, Alabama trailing Georgia in the SEC title at the D1 level in football. Meanwhile, Caston leads JWU 1-0 after 2, and Southern Maine trails the Hawks of St. Anselm 2-1 after 2 as well. Without further ado, let's take a look at the highlights of the second period. And Matt, there was plenty of them for both teams, but the Beacons early on got the advantage with this goal.
Yeah, it starts off with that backhander from Knockbauer from distance here, and Kowalski never saw it come through. Next thing you know, it's in the back of the net. Scrambling, trying to find it. It had already crossed the goal line. That gave the Beacons a 4-0 lead, 30 seconds, just under 30 seconds into the period here. And then you're going to see a save by McBurney. And again, that's the one in the glove that he got the quick whistle. But notice as we roll through these highlights, you'll see McBurney, just the presence he has right now in the net. It really seems like that confidence is beaming and just seems really sure of himself. This is the one goal that he gave up here on the crossing pass. He's going to make a great stop here off the pad, and then you'll see it just kind of goes behind him, and then Skidmore is able to jam it home to get themselves on the board. That made it 4-1, and then right after that, you're going to see another save here from McBurney. He's keeping his team locked in as a crossing pass there. He's able to get that with the pad as that puck trickles in the blue crease. And then the Beacons respond. You'll notice the 9-minute mark. They really turn it on here for the last 9 minutes of the period. This is the one. Santa Pass takes a hit there. He's able to protect the puck, make a pass to the other side of the net, and Nitkin's able to bury that, his second of the night. That made it 5-1 Beacons. And then after that, really just was all, this is a great stop here from McBurney. But other than this, it was really all Beacons. You see the breakaway save and the rebound save there from McBurney. He's been great here tonight. Skidmore did put one off the crossbar here. Great angle. You're going to see referee might be in the way a little bit. He just changed it, but you'll see off the crossbar there. Those were the only 2 chances in that last 9 minutes from Skidmore. Other than that, it's been all Beacons.
Let's take a look around, or look ahead to see what's coming up here for the Beacons in the coming weeks. Of course, they'll go on their winter break shortly. Prior to that, they'll have 2 affairs, one at Curry College next week, and then at home against the Corsairs of Dartmouth. They won't play again until January 4th when they host Tufts University as part of the Codfish Bowl, the 54th annual classic here from Edward T. Berry Ice Rink. The Beacons then won't play another conference game after this one until they play 4 consecutive road affairs from the 11th through the 19th against NEC, Southern Maine, Castleton, and then that rematch against Norwich. So the Beacons will try to buoy their non-conference record prior to those battles, but they'll look to get off to an exceptional 8-0 NEHC start by finishing off the Thoroughbreds today. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we will have the opening face-off of the third period with the Beacons leading at 5-1 here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
UMass is very public service focused, and it piqued my interest, and I started doing more research on it. I'm very focused on what can I do to make the world around me a better place. My name is Lydia Grasso. I'm a junior at UMass Boston studying sociology and minoring in human rights. Because I won the Chancellor Scholarship at UMass, it allowed me to go to Cambodia. I was working at the Sihanouk Hospital Center of Hope. I was in the place of something horrible that had happened. I could either go home and kind of forget about that experience and kind of block it out, or I could do something so that things like that never happened again. UMass provides me with opportunities that I wouldn't get anywhere else and gives me a global perspective in a public setting. I definitely transformed at UMass.
Players are back on the ice, and we are all set for the third period. UMass Boston leading it by a score of 5-1. And it's been that second line, the de facto second line of Knockbauer, Santa Pass, and Nitkin that have led the way. Ethan with 2 goals, Santa Pass a couple of assists, and Knockbauer with a goal and an assist. And the Beacons will send that line out there, it looks like, to begin the third period, and why not? Kowalski will also remain out there for the Thoroughbreds, and McBurney, of course, for the Beaks.
For Skidmore, it's really quite simple. Time is your enemy. You don't have enough time. You're down 4 here. You do not have enough time to be cute with things. You've got to be hard on pucks. 50-50s have to be yours. You've got to find a way to get 1, if not 2, pretty quickly within this first 5 to 10 minutes. For UMass Boston, just continue to work that clock. You should be able to roll 4 lines here. You did last night against Hobart with a 2-goal lead, with a 4-goal lead here tonight. I'd expect the same.
Face-off won by Skidmore. They get it deep and into the zone.
Jeez.
Tumbling down by his own volition there was Santa Pass as a shot from the point by Rook is gloved down by McBurney. That will not go on Garrison's highlight reel.
I had a junior coach that anytime something like that, guy would just fall like that. You look up in the ceiling, you sniper, sniper, there's a sniper.
Oh,
in
my
the crow's
goodness.
nest, yeah, you just get taken out all of a sudden.
Beacons win the ensuing face-off. Santa passes line to the bench. This is the top line of Bross, Redler, and McGregor. Rook being chased down by Redler. He's got a solid 4 inches on him. Sends it near side, missed the mark. Bross behind the net for Redler. Beacons setting it up for Bross, whose shot is off the skate of Corey Morgan and wide. Chance from the point for Albano, a high-rising slap shot, and that one was blockered away by the netminder Kowalski.
That was labeled. Didn't miss by much, that top corner on the far side there. Good hit by Albano.
You said it as he took down Owen Campbell, who would have had a break if he didn't get taken down by the Beacons blue liner. McGregor over the blue line and into the attacking zone. Somehow manages to have time to send it near side for Albano. Uses the end boards to his advantage. Poke check by Kowalski, but right to the stick of McGregor. Tried to backhand it towards Redler, who's just sitting in the slot all alone. And a good feed in front as that pass came from Chukrin to Redler, trying to go right back to Bross. A shot from Gabe now from the point this time is denied by Kowalski with 18:42 left.
That was pretty, that puck movement. You know, you love to see that. I think that the purest hockey fans out there are probably enjoying that type of play. Quick moving in the zone and nobody holding it too long. You know, just using what they had, using what options they had there. You saw it from all 5 guys on the ice. Love to see that.
Face-off won by Skidmore. 5-1 UMass Boston, trying to improve to 8-0 in the NEHC as this is back to the point. Kept in here, sent far side off the sideboards. Carter uses his body to shield Moody. And then over skating the puck is Regnart. Turnover for Tim Allen. Allen played exceptionally well today for Skidmore, but misses the mark to Rook. And coming back all the way to clean up is Russell.
Regnart pretty fortunate there. That could have been a lot worse. He lost his stick. He was out of position, caught in between, and no harm, no foul.
Breakout here for Allen. Allen, nice feed connecting with Vela. Paul harassed by Regnart. Great save by McBurney as he moved to his right. The rebound was juicy, but denied by Carter.
Yeah, Vela, one of the thoroughbreds tonight that I've really kind of had my eye on. He's looked good. He's been around the puck, and obviously not much to speak for. His team only has 1 goal, the third line left winger. But I've liked the way he's played here tonight. A couple shots on goal, and he really seems to have that extra step.
Vela, a sophomore from Staten Island. Beacons off the line change, have that 4th line out there. As with 17:22 to go in the 3rd period. The Beacons leading it 5-1. Riley over the blue line. And taken away at neutral ice by Steele. Tried to stretch it towards Morocek, off the mark. McBurney siphons it around the sideboards. And it deflects right into the slot. Wide open there, Morocek, but he had nothing going on the shot that sailed wide.
Again, Beacon's fortunate there. Another opportunity where those just have a knack for finding their way to the bad spots on the ice. But for tonight, Beacon's really been escaping with some of those unforced errors.
Dumped all the way down there by Gallagher. Kowalski tips it into the corner, therefore no icing. 16:40 left, 3rd period action. Beacons just trying to soak out the minutes here and get the victory as there's a shot high on Kowalski. Good save from the shot of Chukrin. Far sideboards, Knockbauer fighting for it with 3 thoroughbreds. It's eventually saucered up and into neutral ice where Chukrin will send it back from whence it came. Weird bounce off a stanchion, and Kowalski had to get back in his crease in a hurry.
We've seen that now. 2 shifts in a row. These pucks taking weird bounces off the glass. So you got those stanchions that poke out a little bit, and it's creating some weird bounces for these players off the glass.
Hagee couldn't control it. Poke checked away by Chukrin. All the way down comes Nitkin, sending it around the end board. Santa Pass will greet Rook with a poke check. Nitkin skates past Hagee. Hagee now behind the net. Backhand all the way to the near side for Del Maestro, but he can't catch up to it. Albano avoids the check, connecting with Knockbauer, but that's Hagee again, aggressive on the forecheck, forcing the puck out to neutral ice where Albano will get the feed from Knockbauer and slow things up in his own zone. With a 4-goal lead, you can do that. As the Beacons send it all the way down, Redler made contact, no icing. Some non-college hockey news, as Matt just let me know, as an icing here on the thoroughbreds, that William Nylander finally agrees to terms with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think that said 6 years, $6.9 million average annual value.
Yeah.
And I mean,
long enough, yeah, 6'9" on a 6-year deal.
You talk about taking long enough. It's right to the deadline, I believe.
Yeah, he had till 5, so they must have just got that in. It's 5:30 here on the East Coast, so they must have got that in with minutes to spare. Just got the notification now, but good to see that we'll see Willie Nylander playing on that wagon of a Toronto Maple Leafs team.
Absolutely, as that shot is fired by Redler through the net mouth and wide. Another try from the point from Carter, denied by Kowalski, and we'll get a whistle with 15:01 to go. For those who don't know, Nylander, a restricted free agent, and he didn't sign the contract tender, wanted a long-term deal for obviously a lot of money from the Maple Leafs, and the deadline to play this year was today. If he didn't sign by 5 o'clock, he wouldn't have been able to play it all this season, and the Maple Leafs found it in their rather large pocketbooks to make the contract work, as there's a shot off the side of the net. The initial blast from Regnart, the rebound from Redler, and R&R is unable to get it by Kowalski. Meanwhile, the other way comes Musica. Centering feed far side is There's Allen taking a shot from the end line. That one trickles into the corner yet again. And poke checked out to the point where a shot is deflected off the end boards now. Behind the net it comes for Campbell and Muzica to fight for. As the backhand comes to the point. D-to-D feed far side for Loazo. Loazo shot denied. McBurney, they score! And finally Tim Allen is all around the puck today, and he gets something on the board as he tallies for the Thoroughbreds. It's 5-2.
Well, McBurney clearly frustrated on the rebound there. I think he wanted to put that one into the corner there. He puts it out into the slot, and then pretty relatively easy goal for any forward at this level. Is able to tuck that over the glove, and I'll tell you what, keeps Skidmore into this game. The Thoroughbreds with 14:25 here to play in the period, and just a 3-goal game. You know, this is something where you get another one, and all of a sudden you've got a hockey game.
Face off won by the Thoroughbreds as Skidmore dumps it all the way in. It's 5-2. Beacons, last time they gave up a goal, scored shortly thereafter to stem the tide of the momentum. We'll see if they can keep that up. There's a nice feed, and ooh, they're going to say it made contact with a player on a bench. The Beacons bench doesn't agree, but that's a break because it would have been a break for Sifferlin.
Yeah, interesting call there. It didn't seem to change redirection at all. Nevertheless, it's going to come in the zone. McBurney checking his stick. A little bit of an overreaction there. I know he was frustrated about the rebound, but he's fortunate. I've seen goaltenders get called on plays like that there. You swing your stick. I know he's frustrated on the rebound, but I have seen guys get called. He's fortunate, but good to see that his stick's still in one piece. Those things are expensive.
Bean's already going to have to pay for a few more from the second period when we saw those broken sticks.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Last thing you want is to have to pay for a goalie stick, too, as here's Peters emerging with possession. Tried to backhand it near side. It was deflected by Morocek, and now Misha is able to get it towards his partner in crime, Avery Steele. As Steele finds Morocek up and over the blue line. Waiting for the late cut from Fichtner, found him, but unable to connect with him. And it trickles back out to neutral ice where Vela will send it near side to connect there with Del Maestro. Good forecheck here from Sifferlin. He's going to get to the puck. Got harassed from behind and taken down by Morgan. No call. Good play from Morgan.
Yeah, Sifferlin also frustrated there. Thought he was going to get a penalty. Seemed like he was being held a little bit on the break-in, but penalty was not awarded to him. So he goes to the bench.
Feed right in front of the blue line's off the mark. Is trying to connect there with Johnson and unsuccessful. That leads to an icing, and so the Beacons will go all the way back the other way and get a chance on a face-off where they've struggled today.
Yeah, Thoroughbred's still feeling like they're a little bit alive here, so the Beacons would love to see them get one. You take a lot of that momentum back. You take what any life they have left in this hockey game, you take it right back. With 12 to play, is a nice shot and a save there by Kowalski off the draw.
That's Robiak taking the blast there. Good save by Kowalski with the blocker, as you said, Matt, as Gannon and this fourth line try to go back to the point. It skipped up and over Chukrin's stick. Gabe, though, is not hindered. He comes all the way back into the zone, loses an edge near side corner, trickles behind the net, taken in there by Loazo, and then this one's deflected up and out of play with 12:33 to go.
Kowalski came into his own, I think, a little bit. Looked very shaky there when he first came into the game in the second period, but he's had some nice saves. He's kind of settled in, as you would expect for most goaltenders coming off the bench cold. There'd be a little bit of a warming up period. The Beacons were able to capitalize on one of them, but I think for the most part, he's done a really nice job in net here tonight in relief of Kazel.
Yeah, and you're talking about a guy who's not even played a full game this year. He came in late in their tie earlier this season against Castleton after Kazel was pulled in that battle. 12:22 to go. Nitkin looking for a hat trick. Already got 2 today, sending it far side. Nice play to take it in and backhand it deep by Carter. Behind the net, Santapass into the corner, hands it off for Knockbauer. Peeling back behind the net, Knockbauer harassed by Lichtner. Daniel, nice feed for Ragnar. Johnny takes the shot with a couple of men in front, deflected. A chance on the second rebound for Knockbauer, but his shot was blocked down as well. Daniel lost it into the corner. Lichtner fighting for it with Santapass. It trickles towards Knockbauer, who sends it all the way around, where Ragnar will be the first one to get there. Tried to poke it around Callahan Johnson, but Johnson was able to get more of it. Sets up a 2-on-2 the other way. Johnson trying to find Kirkwood off the mark, and Ragnar cleans it up with 11:35 to go.
Great play by McGregor to recognize what was going on there and play defense on the shift. He's a forward. Normally you would jump into the zone there, but recognized there was going to be a rush coming down the other end, decided to play D.
Here come the Thoroughbreds the other way. Up and around Zach Bross was Wolf. Beacons, though, get possession as Bross finds Redler. Nolan over the blue line, hands it off, gets it right back. Redler all the way in, whipped on it. The puck was loose for a moment. And then Kowalski covers, and then Redler gets trounced in the crease, and we got a brouhaha after the play as Bross protecting his line mate Nolan Redler. McGregor getting in fisticuffs with Russell, and these two teams beginning to show signs of disposition between the two with 11:06 to go.
And I think a little bit of frustration there from you hear Coach Blyle yelling for his team to get over. This is the last thing he wants is a guy risking injury. A game where you're up already 5-2, you don't need any of the extracurriculars. It looks like it's going to be penalty on Bross, and I'll have to get the number or the player for, is it Wolf that's going to sit? Yeah, it looks like 28 Wolf is going to be the player. So you should be 5-on-5, I would think, but we'll take a look. You see Coach Blyle there reminding his team really a lot more to lose in those types of scenarios. I know, after the whistle, you don't want to just take it, but when you're up 5-2 with 11 to play here, last thing you want to do is have a guy go down weird and get hurt. And you see Adam and his team letting them know you don't need any of it, and not so many words. Let's stick to the game. Let's continue to work the clock here. I'm sure there's
well, now a second Skidmore Thoroughbred, that's Max Hagee, will head to the sin bin. And, I mean, Redler was clearly hit in the crease after the whistle. So the Beacons might go to a power play.
And Bross, usually the referees will let you, a couple face washes, a couple extra whacks, shoves. But when there was one player, I didn't get the number, that kind of ripped. It looked like ripped. It was either Redler or Bross, ripped him off the pile there. And it's similar to the NFL. Referees don't want you doing that. That tends to escalate those situations more than it becomes constructive. And so I think that might be where the penalty is. It does look like the Beacons will go on the power play.
So UMass Boston will, from the looks of it right now, have a 2-minute advantage. Probably unsportsmanlike conduct or roughing. UMass Boston has not scored on the power play today, despite their 5 goals, all of them even strength. And we'll see if
interesting that the faceoff would be out of the zone there. I'm trying to think why that would be on a penalty. Usually that's an in-zone faceoff, especially where the play was. Perhaps contact with the goaltender trumps the in-zone, and now they're bringing it in.
No.
Okay.
Well, yeah, they're going to. The referee's moving in, the players weren't sure. Now
usually a penalty trumps all. If there's a penalty, it's going to be an in-zone draw. I know there was contact with the goaltender. Usually that'll move the faceoff out of the zone, but in this case, the penalty trumps all that.
So it'll be Redler taking the face-off after getting sent to his backside in the crease moments ago. Peters out there, Roviak, Chukrin, and Regnar. Deacons, a lot more defense out there. Of course, Zach Bross being in the sin bin, he'd probably be out there with Redler and Peters anyway.
It's had a tough one here tonight. A couple penalties, and doesn't have that usual ability to find the puck that we've seen from him, that we've come accustomed to.
Face-off won by Redler. Chukrin, though, whipped on a chance to go back to Regnar, who takes the body, and that'll allow the puck to be cleared as McBurney hands it off to Gabe. That'll kill off some time on this power play, but ultimately the Beacons trying to kill off time in the third period, with just 10:50 to go and a 3-goal lead. Behind the net, and a hit there from Robiak as he levels that one into Del Maestro. Kyle then clears it all the way down. It will make its way into the corner where Owen Campbell will take it away from Regnar. Backhanded back, far side circle, and a save from McBurney on a shot from Moody.
Well, Skidmore is going to try to press here. They don't have a choice. The clock, they just don't have enough time in this game to sit back on a penalty kill. They're going to have to try and press, create turnovers. You see it here going very aggressive even though they're a man down.
And we're going to get another penalty here as Redler got destroyed. We're going to get a cross check, but it's going to be on UMass Boston's John Regnar. And so we'll go even strength. That happened after the Redler hit right at the red line. So for the next 71 seconds, we'll be even, and then a power play of abbreviated variety for the Thoroughbreds.
It's a big call there. That takes a minute 11 away, or gives it back to the Thoroughbreds. That you kind of, as a coach, you take a look, you say, okay, well, subtract 2 minutes from the existing clock. We're going to lose that on the power player on the penalty kill, and now instead you get that back. You skate far side.
Albano off the face-off win by Nitkin. He was winless coming into this period, so good to see him getting some confidence from the dot. From the red line, Nitkin watches as that Carter pass goes all the way into the corner. 50 seconds left on the 4-on-4. Beacons will try to score as here's Albano. Nice sidestep of Allen. A chance blocked down immediately. Carter tees one up, and that one blocked down again in front, this time off the skate of Matt Musica. 4-on-4 for 34 seconds. Dumped all the way in by Morgan. McBurney slows it down. In fact, stops it dead in its tracks behind the net. Albano around the forechecking forward Vela. And into the attacking zone comes Nick. Behind the net. Loses it to Del Maestro. The Beacon who lost his stick there was Knockbauer. Del Maestro gets the feed. Good play going down to the knee for Bono. And the Beacons may have numbers as the power play will come on out here for the visitors. Bono a shot save. Rebound came right to Knockbauer. And Daniel couldn't find it. And now a power play the other way. Here's Avery Steele coming in. For 42 seconds, the extra attacker for the Thoroughbreds. But a good play from Gallagher who poked it away and then cleared it to neutral ice.
Yeah, the 2-on-1, that's the play you want there from Bono off the pad. It just couldn't get to Knockbauer in time. He's already past the puck once it came to him.
Keeping it in barely. Peter Bilal didn't think so. Austin Rook. And a deflection in front on the shot there from Steele. Deflected by Moody, but wide of the net. Foot race to the puck as Keene gets there first. Good poke check by Kowalski as coming on in was Dakota Keene shorthanded.
Yeah, great speed there. It didn't look like it was going to be much. Next thing you know, he almost had a scoring opportunity there.
Dakota lost his stick. It didn't break, so he picks it back up, dumped all the way in. The power play is now over, so a good job by the Beacons to weather the storm and, in fact, get a chance again shorthanded, one of a couple they've had today. Over the red line as Musica poke checks it deep. He's got Allen in front of the net, as well as Moody. Back to the point for Rook. Takes the shot in front, deflected by Moody. Trying to find Allen, couldn't do so. Musica finds Tim Allen, who scored the last goal for these Thoroughbreds to make it 5-2. Albano will clear. This will be icing on UMass Boston.
And 7:45 here. You see some jawing going on here on both sides. But 7:45 here left to play. And, you know, now it really just becomes matchups. You want to be smart if you're the coaching staff, not putting someone out on a disadvantage. Yeah, obviously here on the icing, you're not going to have a chance to do that. But just don't want to put yourself in a position where you've got the matchup in favor of the Skidmore side, going to try to hold on to this 3-goal lead, and with 7:45, shouldn't be that tall of a task.
From the point, nice feed for Del Maestro, takes the shot wide of the net. Behind the net, Lishner trying to go back to Del Maestro at the point, got it poked away, and then look what he found in front, a chance, backhand centering feed for Callahan Johnson, who was looking to connect with Kirkwood. The Beacons had half their shift almost exiting the zone, anticipating a break the other way, and Callahan Johnson took it right back. And now the Beacons do take it away. Sifferlin, though, turns it right back over, and coming back in is Johnson, connecting there with Kirkwood, a chance backhand, good save, McBurney, and then he gets slashed right to the chest. Albano doesn't like that, and deja vu all over again, this time in front of the Beacons net, as we have a Donnybrook after the whistle.
Well, McBurney got hit with a stick there. He was able to cover the puck and then took at least one, if not two sticks. I know he's going to be looking for a call here, but I think the referees will just rather get these guys back to their bench, allow them to make a change. I don't think they're going to get a call on either side. We'll have to see here. Oh, it does look okay. The Beacons are going to get one.
Oh.
Let's see. Maybe both. They might take both here.
Well, you take a look, and after the save, clearly a slash across the shoulder from Lishner, I think, number 10 right there.
See it right there. Yeah, that's high. So let's see. Beacons already have a guy in the box. It looks like Albano has taken his seat, so he's definitely in there. Nothing on the clock yet. Well, his third period's really slowed down from the action we had earlier. A lot of whistles and penalties. Referees trying to figure it out now. Let's see. Nobody in the box yet for Skidmore.
Garrett Gallagher discussing it along with Adam Moody, the senior for the Thoroughbreds, with the officials. And not sure how Lishner doesn't get a call there. And I don't think the referees are quite sure who it's going to be called on. This is...
Yeah, I'm curious to know what... I mean, these are usually pretty simple cases where you'll either take nobody or you'll take 2. You don't usually put a situation like that where you'll put a team down. I don't know what the referees are looking for here. If I'm Skidmore, maybe trying to milk it for more than 2. So far, it's still just a Beacon in the box. So kind of curious as to what the discussion is right now.
Well, while they're discussing this down on the ice, the Beacons, regardless of what happens, will still have a 3-goal lead. And if they're able to hang on to that, they won't play another conference game for over a month. So they will remain on top of the New England Hockey Conference regardless. They're helped out by the fact that Hobart, who they just beat yesterday, is, last we checked, taking care of business against Babson, which would cement the Beacons as the only undefeated team in conference. Babson came in 6-0-1 in the NEHC. They'd fall to 6-1-1 if Hobart indeed holds on.
Seth, Seth, John, no, that's a compliment. John, I think that they're asking for more than just a minor here. It seems like the fact that Skidmore is the team that's really spent a lot of time talking to the ref would lead me to believe that they're looking for more than just a 2-minute minor here. But instead, yeah, it's going to be 4, and that's what I expected really from the start. Was going to be, you either take nobody there, or you take 1 from each team. It's very rare in situations like that where you put a team down, either team shorthanded. So I'm not surprised that both teams get called on a penalty. Should be 4-on-4, and we'll get back to action here with 7:04 left in the period.
Callahan Johnson, the one serving the penalty, even though it looked like it was Lishner who slashed McBurney, but maybe that came from something else after. Nonetheless, after all that time, they come to the conclusion we reached immediately. 4-on-4.
It's another penalty.
And another penalty coming up here, this time on the Thoroughbreds. So Skidmore digging their own grave here.
Slash.
And they will head to the penalty box, and the Beacons will go to the power play. Is that a bench minor?
I think it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
I think the refs had enough. They stated their case.
They're still going at it.
Yeah, and it reaches a point where you're not getting anywhere. It's pretty clear the referees have had enough. They don't want to hear it anymore. And I'm not surprised.
He just got tossed.
I think he just got tossed.
This is a baseball game or what? Because the coach, I believe that's this head coach Rob Hutchison, just got tossed from this hockey game. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I've never seen that either. Well, here's the deal. Because it reaches a point, and this is really embarrassing if you're a coach to get tossed from a hockey game like that. I think that's about as embarrassing as it gets. It's very rare in hockey, but it reaches a point where the referees have told you what's going on. They've heard your case, okay, and they don't want to hear anymore. Hey, here's the call we're making. We get what you're saying. Here's the call we're making. We're moving on. And if you continue to pest and kind of, especially if it gets vulgar, referees have every right to toss you. And I'm not surprised. It's rare, but I'm not surprised. It seemed to be escalating rather quickly there.
So the Beacons will go to a power play for 2 minutes as this one's won by the Thoroughbreds and dumped all the way in. It's an exciting third period. Hey, we thought, the Beacons up by 4.
For weird reasons.
We weren't sure. I think that was actually the assistant Mike Bergen who got kicked out of the game. The assistant coach Mike Bergen, who has been tossed from the hockey game.
Well, that's the other thing, too. Referees will take it from the head coach, but they don't want to be – they'll give you a little bit of leeway as an assistant. They definitely won't stand for it as long as they would if you're a head. So very rare. I think that's the first time we've seen a coach get tossed in a hockey game here at the Edward T. Berry.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a wild day as there's an opportunity shorthanded as taking the shot, having his stick shattered was Owen Campbell, and that one sent up into the netting on a deflection from Chuckred. Face off to the left of McBurney with minute 14 to go on the power play.
Now, do you still tell them to hit the showers? Do coaches still – I don't know what the term would be, right? Because the player, all right, have him hit the shower. The coach warm the bus?
Warm the bus. There you go.
Go get the subs? Go get the pizza? I don't know. It's we'll have to start a new phrase here, John.
Well, the Thoroughbreds are going to have to start looking for answers because here's Knockbauer coming in. He got hooked a little from behind, then goes hard into the boards. He's okay, though. It's 4-on-3 for the next 42 seconds. That'll be 5-on-4. There's a blast from Gallagher. That one kicked away by Kowalski, who, for his effort, has played a lot better since his first shift in the second period when he gave up the goal to Knockbauer. Far side is Nitkin, still looking for that hat trick. Back to the point now, Bono. Gallagher loses possession. Far side, Bono. Shot deflected into the corner. Good active stick work there from Musica. Bono down low, Nitkin. Nitkin thought about going to Gallagher, now he does. Garrett's got a man in front, goes far side, Nitkin, he shoots! And a good save by Kowalski on Ethan Nitkin, and then getting taken down is Gallagher into the net. And, ooh, now some of the Skidmore fans are starting to yell at the refs, taking a notion from their coaching staff.
Gonna say no change there. Would love to see Nitkin fire that crossing pass from Gallagher on a one-timer. You know, they catch that one and then try and catch and release like that. You're giving the goaltender time to recover and get over there. Would just love to see the freshman fire that one on a one-timer next time. But like you said, Skidmore not allowed to change there on the. It could have been likely a penalty. It looked like Gallagher got tripped on his way to the net there, but just be an in-zone draw here.
5:07 left, third period. It'll be to the right of Kowalski. 3 seconds left before both players come out of the sin bin, and it's a 5-on-4, which it is now. Here's Bross, far side chance, whiffing on it, Peters, another chance, what a save as Kowalski went to the splits to deny Nolan Redler, who hangs his head high towards the heavens.
And, you know, he's still got something to play for, John. You know, you take a look, you've got a goaltender who came into this game in relief of Kazel, and he's probably the one Skidmore guy that still has something to play for here. He's playing for his minutes. He's playing for the next game. And you see a big stop there on the crossing pass on the top scorer for the Beacons in Redler.
Kirkwood pokes it out of the zone, coming all the way back Albano. Just 5 seconds on the 5-on-4, and so, as has been the case all day, the power plays for both teams rather meaningless. Here's Redler all the way over the zone. Great feed, a backhand coming across the net mouth, and that one went wide, and now we'll get a whistle as the net is off the moorings, and I think we're going to get another penalty as they're just going to say the net came off its moorings. Thought they were going to call hook there, but no harm, no foul with 4:40 to go.
This third period really crawling on here. I feel like this third period has lasted as long as the first two. I mean, you've got a 5-2 hockey game. It's still 4 minutes to play here. If, you know, Skidmore can put a couple shifts together, perhaps claw back into this hockey game. But, boy, it's just been one whistle after the other here.
Yeah. Crawling is the right word here in the third period. 4:40 to go. Face-off one into the corner by Skidmore. Cleared all the way down, and doing his best McBurney impersonation was Ragnar to keep that from getting behind him. Good feed Knockbauer, but he saw the train coming in the form of Austin Rook and got out of the way. Skidmore down by 3. They've been down by 3 for at least 3 ever since the first period when the Beacons took a 3-0 lead about 10 minutes in. Since then, they've traded some goals as Santa passes feet in front for Knockbauer, went off the skate of Rook and wide. Brandon Kazel started the game for the Thoroughbreds, was pulled after one period where he gave up 3 goals. Gave up those 3 goals on 11 shots. Since then, Kowalski's given up 2. And a good feed by Nitkin in front for Knockbauer, poke checked away by Kowalski. 3:40 to go. There's a wraparound chance. Knockbauer, waffle boarded away by Kowalski. And now out to the red line where Tim Allen tried to poke it around Carter. And his perseverance pays off as he gets it to Morgan, who dumps it all the way in. McBurney backhands it towards the near side corner. Morgan siphons it towards the net but wide. Ragnart has some trouble with it. Harassed from behind there by Moody. Keene in the corner. 3:15 to go. Behind the net it comes. And eventually over the head of Riley, but kept in by Morgan. Saucers it into the glove of McBurney. Ragnar takes a late shot at Moody, who didn't like that. And with 3:06 to go, cooler heads will prevail.
Yeah, and Beacons would be smart. It's pretty evident here, especially a game like this. A Skidmore team that clearly is frustrated would be smart to just, you know, not get involved in the extracurriculars. The most important thing, you play to win. And all this other stuff might, you know, make you feel better as a hockey player, as a tough guy, but doesn't add anything. The most you can get is 2 points. Doesn't matter how many face washes you give a guy.
As Herm Edwards said, you play to win the game.
Thought you might pick up on that.
There you go. Herm Edwards, now the head coach at Arizona State.
Had a pretty good year.
Yeah, not too shabby for the Sun Devils, who I feel like haven't done much since Andrew Walter was back there in the mid-2000s. Meanwhile, losing an edge is Skinner. Turns it over
for you.
I know, that was a pull.
Those East Coast fans.
I was going to go with Jake Plummer, but I think Walter had his moments before completely unraveling with the Raiders after being drafted by Al Davis. Meanwhile, the Beacons having their moments here as Gallagher's got Skinner near side, tried to go far side for Sifferlin instead, but unable to connect with him. Puck shoots up in the air with 2:30 to go. Peters waiting behind the net, going around Morgan, backhand in front. Kowalski poked it away from the passing lane where Skinner was waiting. It's going to be out of the zone. That's offsides. And a nice nifty save by Kowalski, even though it wouldn't have counted on the shot from Bono.
Some interesting, just received word from Seth Orensky. Very interesting development here. We've got Suffolk up 1-0 with a minute, just under 2 minutes to play at Norwich right now. So some interesting developments.
Those Cadets are not marching in this year. They are having some issues, and the Rams, what a win that would be to get their first NEHC victory.
As a program to go at Norwich too, not even, it's one thing to beat them at your own barn, but to go up there, Kreitzberg is one of the toughest rinks to play. They usually pack the house. It feels, for some of these players, it'll be as close as they get to a pro rink. To go up there and if they can, to shut them out and win one all the way up in Kreitzberg would be quite the feat.
To be fair, not a whole lot else to do there.
Yes, that is definitely an element to their ability to generate fans.
Roviak shot off the crossbar as Evan Rogoviak looking for his first career goal, snake bitten by the post.
Love the short side snipe there too. Didn't miss by much. You heard it. Might have heard it on the broadcast, that ping sound. Didn't miss by much. Almost gave his team a 6-2 lead here late in the period.
90 seconds left, and then getting clipped there was Moody as he was looking to gun that one behind McBurney on a one-timer. Beacons just waiting out the moments here on their way to another victory as UMass Boston, as they will continue streaking here in 2018, move to 10-1 as that shot is fired wide of the net. And now coming back the other way is Tim Allen. Allen watches as Moody gets tripped up. Backhand, he scores! Tim Allen saying hello to Bailey McBurney, his second goal of the day, and number 9 in green cuts it to 5-3 with 56 seconds left.
Now, do you get 2 goals if you celly hard there?
That was nice.
You're down. I know you score there. You're pumped to Gino, but it's a 5-3 hockey game with a minute to play there. So I'd be curious to ask Allen if you get extra points on the celly there. As he pumps the crowd up with his team down 2 goals still here in the period. But nevertheless, got to give him credit. A nice backhand goal, able to tuck that in on McBurney. And they're going to take a timeout. Hey, you know what? I'll give you credit. Skidmore not going down without a fight. They're going to use every option they have to try and get back into this hockey game.
That, and they're going to make sure we don't get to see any of that SEC college football game by continuing to drag this on. Did we get an update on that?
It's final.
It's final.
Yeah. Suffolk went up there and won. Seth just gave word, so that's a big win for Suffolk. Yeah, we'll show you the replay here on the goal. And I don't know if we have the celly too. I noticed it's still 5-3 instead of 5-4, but let's take a look. Allen, and it's a really nice play. I know the celly, he comes across here, the backhand, tough to read for a goaltender. He tips that past McBurney there. Always tough to read on the backhand, and then that's awesome, dude. Congrats on the goal, man. You need 2 more of those in under a minute. Let's see if you can get it. Always love to see that, man. It's like you got to know your time and place. I'm all for subs. Anyone who's listening to the broadcast knows I love a good selling. I love them. I love them when they're creative, when they're spur of the moment there. But, boy, man, recognize what's going on. Your team's down on the road. You lost last night, and now here tonight you're looking like you're going to lose again.
The net's empty now, Matt, so it'll be 6-on-5 right off the face-off with less than a minute to go.
Yep.
Beacons win this.
Have to have the draw. Yeah, I have to win that one clean. Beacons win it here. They're going to be able to have a shot on the empty net if they hustle.
Oh, Nitkin looking for the Hattie there, unable to catch up to his own feed. And so now the Thoroughbreds in dire straits, turn it over. Nitkin, he scores! Ethan Nitkin, a hat trick for the freshman from Florida. And UMass Boston ices it away. They will win this one and improve to 10-1 and 8-0 in the NEHC with the score being 6-3.
Well, I don't think it'll be any guess who our star of the game is going to be. Ethan Nitkin completes the hat trick, and always great. Pretty rare for a freshman to have it's rare enough as it is with only 25 games played in this college hockey season here. Pretty rare feat, and then especially from a freshman, you'll see the turnover there, good stick, and then Nitkin, it just found him. He's able to fire. He's not going to miss from there. He's able to fire that one in and give his team back a 3-goal lead late in the period.
Santa Pass going for the deflection with an empty net was pretty flashy. I like that. And I'm not sure Ethan Nitkin would have loved it too much if he took his hat trick
Can you
away.
imagine? Oh, my God.
32 seconds to go as Riley looking for more. Kowalski thought it was behind him, but it was blocked down instead in front. Now Riley taking it away. Jack all the way around, lost the puck as he was looking to tuck it home as Riley was looking for a goal. Beacon's youngsters and underclassmen have been so exceptional this year. Part of the reason why they're off to such a solid start is Gannon's shot was denied. Another try high and wide. That was a high deflection. Would have been a high stick by Riley. Wouldn't have counted. And with just 5 seconds to go, the clock has expired on the Thoroughbreds of Skidmore as the Beacons win it by the final of 6-3. With the win, the Beacons improved to 10-1 and 8-0 in the New England Hockey Conference as they maintain a sparkling, undefeated home record heading into the winter break with just one more game to go prior to their long absence. And Matt, 6-3 the final score. Beacons led 3-0 after one, and every time Skidmore punched, the Beacons punched back.
Pretty impressive what this team's been able to do here. I know a lot of these games have been here at home, and you know, this has been a team that usually has a little bit of a slow start out of the gate. They pick things up in the second half. Really, I mean, pretty amazing to be undefeated in conference play. Norwich with another loss tonight, putting themselves clearly in first place here going into the to the Christmas holiday. You know, it's pretty impressive what this team's been able to do. I really like the way they've been approaching games. They don't seem to have many flaws, and the flaws that they do have, they're able to kind of erase with some of the offense, you know, their ability to win faceoffs, their ability to defend. The big standout for me is the way Bailey McBurney is playing, and the one negative, I think, would be that you kind of would wish that this break maybe was a little bit delayed because of the way this goaltender's playing right now. You know, you want him to stay hot. Sometimes if you break your routines, break your systems, you kind of lose some of that. So hopefully McBurney can continue this into the Codfish Bowl. But right now this Beacons team is firing on a lot of cylinders, and it's really fun to watch.
Bailey now 9-0 on the campaign, and with Babson losing 6-3 against Hobart, the Beacons now have a solid 1.5 game lead for the top spot in the New England Hockey Conference, and they won't play another conference game until January 11th against New England College. So the Beacons winning this one 6-3. Ethan Nitkin getting his first career hat trick. He now has 5 goals in 6 games in his freshman year from the state of Florida. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, all the final stats, our 3 stars of the game, as well as interviews with Coach Peter Belisle and our MVP. Potentially Ethan Nitkin, I would think, but we'll let you know in a bit right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Hi, I'm Tracy Reed, and I'm a PhD student in the Sociology Department at UMass Boston, and I drove all the way across the country from Northridge, California to be a part of this great program.
I chose this program because of the department's commitment to advancing theory and driving the discipline forward, while also transcending theory and using our knowledge and research skills to address complex social issues as they play out in the real world.
For me, doing research on immigration, on college-aged immigrant youth, this is the perfect setting.
I played a role as a study coordinator, so there I helped develop the IRB materials. I also helped with the evaluation research and got to conduct focus groups along with Professor Hartwell and really actually engage with the project and learn how to deal with multiple stakeholders, which has proven to be invaluable on the job search.
I feel so fortunate to have gone through the master's program at UMass Boston. I design, run, and evaluate workforce development programs, which is exactly replicating the skills that I got to practice here.
One of my favorite things about our department is that they really put an emphasis on both research and teaching.
My first semester, I took a course in teaching sociology, and it really got me excited about the prospect of being able to share this with other students and to teach this wonderful topic.
The faculty are also supportive in finding scholarly opportunities. I have published with a few faculty in the department and have co-presented with a few faculty in the department at large conferences such as the American Society of Criminology.
Boston is a great place to study sociology because the city is really a microcosm of the world. As an urban sociologist and criminologist, I interned at a nonprofit organization that addressed trauma related to violence in the inner city.
The classes are usually very small. We get to interact closely with one another, and the professors really encourage discussion and interaction.
One of the defining features of graduate study at UMass Boston is the interdisciplinary nature of what we do here. In graduate sociology courses, you could be sitting next to someone who is studying public policy, gerontology, higher education, political science. That back and forth and exchange between the disciplines really adds to the dynamic conversation in the classroom and strengthens everybody's experience.
My focus really was on American Indian studies and also criminology. Went to my professors, pitched them my research focus, and despite the fact that American Indian studies is not the main focus of the department, I was met with, okay, let's research it, let's do it.
As someone who does research on immigration, race, and ethnicity, I think that it's important to be prepared for both applied research as well as to teach these different areas. And I really feel confident that this department has prepared me to do both.
Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. John Skudras along with Matt Meisenbacher. Beacons winning it again 6-3. They led 3-0 after one. Then it's the goals scored by Nitkin, Skinner, and Gallagher in the first period as we take a look at the final score there. In the second period, Nachbauer's fourth of the year made it 4-0 just 27 seconds in. That was right after Kowalski had come in for the Thoroughbreds. After that, the Skidmore Thoroughbreds getting on the board as Max Hagee scored his third on assists from Tim Allen and Owen Campbell. Ethan Nitkin got his fourth of the year, second of the game at 11:55 of the second from Garrison Santapass. And then Tim Allen scored back-to-back goals, his second and thirds of the year, including one monstrous celly on assist from Musica and Loazo. That cut it to 5-3, and then the empty net goal getting Ethan Nitkin his fifth of the year and first career hat trick, and bringing the final score to 6-3. And Matt, when you look at it, the Beacons outshot the visiting Thoroughbreds 39-27, but early on, Skidmore, at least in the first 10 minutes, they put up a good fight. They had a couple of power plays. They had a lot of scoring chances where McBurney had to make some nice saves, and then once the Beacons got the first goal in, the floodgates opened, and they were able to maintain that multiple goal advantage.
A recurring pattern here for teams that play in the at UMass Boston. It seems as though they really know that there's no surprises. They know the UMass Boston Beacons are going to be a high-powered, high-octane type of team, and so I don't think there's any teams coming in here kind of expecting anything. They come in with everything they've got. The Beacons are just able to counter it right now, and they're playing at a level where the confidence is at such a peak where even when things aren't going their way, you saw a couple times there momentum was slipping away, or they didn't get a bounce or they didn't get a call. There's no sense of frustration. They know that the next line will be out there to kind of repeat the progress that was made on the initial shift. And so we've seen that a couple of games now where there's been multiple times where the Beacons have kind of let things slip away. You start feeling like, oh boy, here we go. Here's the counter punch. But yet the Beacons are able to kind of dodge it and maintain. And you see here again a 6-3 win at home, another 4-point weekend.
Beacons winning it by 3 goals. Take a look at the final stats here on the post-game show. UMass Boston out shooting Skidmore 39-27, 14-7 in the third period, and 28-18 in the final two combined. Neither team, again, able to do anything on the power play. Beacons continuing to excel in the PK, now 13 straight over the course of the weekend they killed off, but in the power play, 0-4. And they didn't really, just from looking back from my memory, didn't even have a lot of great scoring chances with the extra attacker, despite having 4 chances in the third. Had a couple because this game just kind of got out of control, but the power play just really hasn't been as excellent as you'd expect it to be with the amount of scores this team has.
I'd agree. I think, part of that being the fact that Albano was missing for a while, and I think they're trying some new combinations out there is probably playing a role. But power plays are known to kind of be that way where, they go through, and this is not just true to the Beacons, but true with a lot of different teams where they go through points where they're really, really hot, and then there are points where they can't seem to buy one. And so that's usually where you fall. If you're around 20-25% on your power play, if you're anywhere near 30%, you're doing really well.
So UMass Boston winning it by the final of 6-3 despite, excuse me, not scoring a power play. I'm choking on the air, Matt. You cut me off too quickly there.
Tic-tac.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Tic-tac will get you. Anyway.
Oh, my gosh. Well, at least it was good on the ice. We had some technical difficulties in the pregame. I'm choking on candy. It's an absolute Donnybrook up here in the booth, much like it was in the third period. I'm just glad I choked before my interview. Imagine Coach choking as I'm talking to Peter Belisle. Nobody wants to see that.
Oh, I love it.
Let's look at the 3 stars of the game. Rachel,
Yes.
please bring that up so I
Let's
can shut up. As we see here, Matt, obviously Ethan Nitkin, our number 1 star, and his line mate, Nakbar.
Wow.
Look at that, +5. That line of Nakbar, Nitkin, and Sanapass has been outstanding all weekend.
Tim Allen, my boy, Mr. Selly himself. His team lost 6-3, and we gave him the 3rd star because of the tremendous Selly that he put forth.
Yeah, absolutely. That's probably why. The 2 goals and 1 assist, not the reason. Beacons winning it 6-3. Allen, an outstanding day for Skidmore College. Let's look ahead to see what's coming up for the Beacons here over the coming weeks. As, of course, just 2 games to go prior to winter break. As those are the team statistics. There we go. We're all bamboo. We're all ready for winter break,
time.
I think. I think it's time. December 1st. We're freezing up here on the air. Nah, just kidding. Curry College is their next battle on Friday night, a 6:50 start at Curry, and then they'll come back home on Saturday against the Corsairs of Dartmouth for a non-conference battle at 4 p.m., and then they'll go to winter break. And you said it, winter break's going to be interesting because you have McBurney playing the best he's ever played in his career. You have a lot of these young guys who have never had to go to a winter break, these freshmen, then come back 3 weeks later and play in the Codfish Bowl against the Tufts team that's given the Beacons fits in the past. It's going to be interesting to see, how much eggnog these guys can lay off so they don't come back here looking like me out there on the ice.
Yeah, and there's always a fine line, right? You want to give yourself a chance to heal and a chance to recover and give your body a chance to kind of get back to its natural state, but at the same time, you don't want to get out of shape. And there's been some players. Don't be surprised if we come back from winter break and the lineup looks a little bit different than what we saw today. I've seen it before. It is on the players to kind of find that line between, okay, I'm relaxing, I'm resetting, recharging the batteries here, versus just completely losing the things that help get you there.
Absolutely. Peter Belisle on his way up to talk to us. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, the winning coach, Peter Belisle, here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
We want to do theater that is responsible. We want to do music that is evocative and elevates us. We want to do dance that reflects urban movement and connection. I've been a practicing designer for the last 30 years. My specialty is costumes. This space is fantastic. This is our recital hall, and it's so outstanding that many people compare it to the symphony hall because the quality of sound is like nothing in town. And there is the painting studio, the sculpture studio, the digital studio. The type of students that we're getting, they're more competitive. They're looking for these kind of facilities. They look at other private colleges, but then decide to come here. Boston is filled with regional theaters, so our students can actually apply what they're learning and build a portfolio. And it's so great to see their names on the program.
Welcome back to the post-game show. John Scooters here with Beacons head coach Peter Belisle. And coach, today a big win for you guys, really this whole weekend. You guys come in this weekend against Skidmore and Hobart. Hobart obviously 12th ranked coming into the weekend. Skidmore gave you guys some tough troubles last year with an overtime victory in February. And you guys came through with flying colors. Just talk about the importance of this weekend and what you saw out there from your team.
Yeah, no, really happy with the effort. I thought we lost a little bit of our composure in the end, something we're working on. But, it was a physical game, and they brought it to us a little bit at times. And they stressed us out with their forecheck and stuff. So I was proud of the guys that we were able to hang in there and finish it off. So good weekend.
Meanwhile, Ethan Nitkin, who Matt will talk to in a moment, a hat trick today, his first collegiate hat trick. He's played just 6 games. He's got 5 goals, lining with Nakbauer and Sanapass. And they, with the line that you started after a strong performance last night, what'd you see in practice from these guys that made you think this would be a good line to put together and start them here this weekend and play them so many minutes?
Yeah, no, Nitty was injured at the beginning of the year, and then we put him up there, just looking for a spark, and he certainly sparked that line. It's just they're red hot right now, so they're really, and he's making that line go. Garrison's playing really well, is physical with his reach. Danny's such so good with the puck, and Nitty is tough on that side too. He's strong in the puck, and he can score.
Mm-hmm.
So a great line. Well, yeah,
absolutely. Really, you guys have 4 lines that you can really wind out there and roll them through and expect not just offensive production, but sound defensive play as well. That 4th line today centered by Drew Gannon, who over the course of his years here, he's had some injuries. Obviously, you guys have a lot of depth, had some tough times getting in on the ice. But when he does provides a bit of a physical edge that you like to see from your fourth-line center.
Yeah, so proud of Drew Gannon. I mean, here's a kid who broke his leg and had pins in he rehabbed all summer long and wasn't quite ready for the beginning of the year, and the kid just perseveres. And Stevie Bryant goes down with an injury, and it's next man up, and Drew does a great job in one of the biggest weekends of the year. So that next man up mentality, and Drew stayed positive, so it's so cool to see him get rewarded for that.
Absolutely. Elsewhere, Norwich losing to Suffolk, a shocker of all shockers at home. Hobart beating Babson, so now you guys are the sole undefeated team in the conference heading into what will be the new year, because you don't play another conference game until next year. How happy and how proud are you of the team, the way they've come out this year after a tough loss in the conference tournament last year against Norwich? You guys have come out and really took the conference by storm here in the first month.
Yeah, no, really proud of our guys. But it's not going to mean anything if we don't do it in the second half, right? So, it kind of stinks that we have to break right now, but that's the way college hockey goes. So we've got to kind of reboot in the second half and try to keep momentum when we go on the road quite a bit. So it's not going to be easy, but certainly that's our goal. But we can feel good about our game in the league. We got 2 more left this next weekend on conference, and hopefully we can feel good about our game going into that break and the guys break for exams and going home and recharge the batteries and get hungry to play in the second half.
And I was going to ask you, what do you say to the guys on that last practice before you guys go off and they go home to make sure that they keep their head in the game? They don't go out and drink, 4 gallons of grandma's eggnog and come back looking 200 pounds overweight.
Yeah, no, we got a great strength coach in Jeff Ebbs. He'll give the guys a program, and we'll obviously talk to them, encourage them to go, bring their equipment home and skate with their old team if they can, their high school team, just to stay loose. And it's good to break. Obviously, we need it. It's a long season, so breaking the right way, like you said, is big.
Yep.
So we'll be trying to educate them to do that.
Absolutely. Last one for you, Coach. The PK continues to play exceptionally well. 13 penalty kills, 13 kills successful this weekend. But at the same time, you don't really want to be on the PK 13 times in a weekend. Is discipline still something you're trying to instill in this team?
It is, and it's a fine line because we play, we play on the edge. We play, and I'm an intense guy. We play intense, so I like that. You don't want to take away too much of that, but the penalties is something we have to work on, and we've been trying to address it. Luckily, our kill is very good, so that's helping us. But we've got to really cut down on the penalties. I agree.
Well, best of luck in the final 2 games prior to winter break. We'll see you afterwards.
Thank you.
Here on the BBN. That's Coach Peter Belisle. We'll be right back with our player of the game, Ethan Nitkin, with Matt Meisenbacher.
My name's Albie Daly. I'm from Able Park, New York. I'm a forward on the UMass Boston men's hockey team, and my current major is exercise and health sciences. Being a member of the men's hockey team is a tremendous honor, just because being able to play collegiate sport while pursuing my dreams of becoming a physical therapist and studying what I'd like to in school means a lot. My favorite memory as a member of the men's hockey team would probably be a big goal that I scored last year, the NCAA quarterfinals, ECAC's quarterfinals against University of New England.
What a turn in momentum!
Just because it was a big boost for both myself and our team moving forward.
Perfect shot right there over the shoulder of the goaltender Drost.
Frozen Fenway was just our outdoor game at Fenway Park, and it was a tremendous experience, I think, both for me and the guys on the team.
We're here with our player of the game, Ethan Nitkin. The hat trick tonight. I didn't see too many hats on the ice. It seemed like people were a little stingy there. Didn't give you your. I thought you were going to have a new hat collection. That's a little disappointing, but
they gave my first goal to Danny.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we had to make sure we had to watch the replay, bring it back. But welcome to the post game, our player of the game, and. We were talking a little bit off air about the power of this second line right now. You guys really are flying right now. Talk to me a little bit about the chemistry you guys have had.
Well, we just started clicking. We haven't played too many games together. That was our 3rd. And we just got 2 big guys who go hard, and Danny works hard in the corners too. And we're just getting our chances and scoring goals.
Yeah, it's nice. Like you said, the first one we had to double check. You got credit on the first one, and then Santa Pass made that nice play. Just kind of found you back door. Yeah, it's playing with Santa Pass, a guy like that. I mean, is it tough? Because he's not the fastest guy. I mean, he'll admit that. And Knockbauer can move, but you guys seem to figure that out pretty quickly.
I think the combination of the 3 of us just is clicking well. Like if Danny's not moving too fast, we got if Gary's not moving too fast. We got Danny and me flying in there and grabbing the puck and then making plays, and it's working.
You guys have been finding each other now. Talk to me a little bit about the transition. A lot of freshmen, some pick it up pretty quickly. Some guys, it takes a while. What's been the biggest challenge moving from the junior game to the collegiate game?
Yeah, well, it's definitely more physical than what I'm used to, but that's part of my game, so adjusting wasn't too hard for me. I love playing physical, and I don't know. I think it's going pretty well.
Yeah, it's good. On this type of team, you're going to need that. It seems like a lot of guys like to throw the body, so it's good you have that part of your game. But 2-point weekend now. You guys are undefeated in conference play. I mean, what's the vibe in the locker room? Obviously, it's pretty positive, but the guys must all be everything seems to be clicking right now.
Yeah, no, we're all like pumped up, but even when we're winning games, we're still pretty serious in the locker room. Like we have one mistake, we take it to heart and just try to get better. Even when we're up at 4 goals. We're focused on like the little things. We want to win a championship.
It's clear, man. It's clear. You guys have had a hell of a start to this first half, and we hope to have you up here more often.
Me too.
We appreciate it. We'll be back after this.
Thank you.
Psychology is about understanding the individual and understanding the mind. The main reason why I want to combine psychology and business degrees is because I want to understand the business decisions that are made. I'm Nurcin Çelebi. I'm from Turkey originally. I'm a senior at the 5-year BA to MBA program at UMass Boston. I think in management, the biggest mistake you can make is to not listen. So I want to be able to step into a company and say, here's what you're doing now, and here's how you can improve it. I moved here when I was 16 for high school. Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well, and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me. I wanted to be able to improve myself. I wanted to be able to try new things, and I think UMass gave me a really good head start on that.
Welcome back here to the post-game show, along with Matt Meisenbacher. I'm John Scudrish, wrapping things up from here. And Matt, obviously Ethan Nitkin happy to be helping out the Beacons with his first career hat trick. And it's a Beacon squad that overall has so many underclassmen, freshmen and sophomores who are making a huge impact, and that should continue in the future.
It's cool to watch. I mean, it really is. You see some of these freshmen, and we talked about it. I asked them, it's always intriguing. I think even the coaching staff will probably admit you just don't really know. You watch a guy, you recruit a guy, and you think you know what you're going to get when they get to the collegiate level, but you just really don't know. You're kind of banking on them to continue to develop, and boy, clearly Coach Bile has found something with this Nitkin kid. 3 goals tonight. On that line with Santa Pass and Knockbauer, they seem to be flying high. They started the game and ended the game for this Beacons club, and hopefully that'll continue into the second half.
10-1 overall, 8-0 in the New England Hockey Conference, the only team undefeated in the NEHC with Babson's loss today to Hobart. UMass Boston will be back at it on the road on Friday at Curry College for returning home for their final home affair on Saturday before winter break against the Corsairs of UMass Dartmouth. As always, I want to thank our production team for coming on out on a Saturday and helping us out to put on this show for you at home. As you see on your screen, our producer is Gigi Braga, our directors Gigi and Rachel Maslak. Our camera operators today, Mary Jo Murphy, Allie Crawford, Kelly Danahy, and Kyle Penny. And for my partner in crime, Matt Meisenbacher, I'm John Scudris. Good night, good luck, and good hockey. We'll see you next week right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.